I
was
didn't choose my grandchildren, but
that's
I
a good
got
point.
stuck.
But I got stuck with you. That's great. And that's why I drank. That's why I drank cheap scotch.
Exactly.
You're
I
the
would have drank
reason.
rubbing alcohol.
You're the
Thank God
reason
for
I drank
Cuddy.
cheap scotch.
I was
My grandfather's choice was Old Granddad.
That
I
makes
like Old
sense.
Granddad.
I do
Uh,
too.
Especially
I,
their bottled in bond is excellent.
I like Old Granddad. Him,
Okay.
Old Granddad in the bottle tastes like shit.
Oh no, you got to try their bottle in bond. It's excellent.
And
At
the
100 proof.
114, that's tasty.
Is the 114 good too? Oh yeah, I haven't had that for a while.
Yeah, it's good.
You know what I just got a bottle of? Bardstown the other day, which I tried and it was good too.
Yeah.
So
I think the only thing I've ever heard you say a bad thing about is Costco bourbon.
yeah, that wasn't good. Now there are some bourbons that I do not like. I'm not a huge fan of Evan Williams.
No, I'm not either.
And Jim Beam, I'm not a huge fan of that either.
Beam's okay. I think when you're paying
White
less
Label
than
Beam?
$20 a bottle,
Well, it's a good point.
not to be snobbish, but generally I haven't found you can find good bottles, decent bottles of wine for under $20. Not never great, never really good. I think the same with bourbon.
That could be.
Although,
Honest,
wait,
honestly, I'd rather drink Jack Daniels than Jim Beam. I think
yeah.
although it's Tennessee whiskey and not bourbon, but
Well, so it's
um,
charcoal filter.
it's charcoal filtered. It's a certain rough magic to Jack Daniels that I've always enjoyed. So
It's smooth. It's good.
yeah, it's not bad.
Nothing wrong with it.
Good on the rocks. I like it. All right, so let's jump right in, shall we? So we stopped last time. You guys were in the middle of the battle. You had tracked Nina Glibglammer back to her apartments in the Chancellor's apartments in the city of Brest after the bloodbath at the banquet, as they were referring to it on the in the streets of the city. But as you guys stepped in, you realized that that something about this place was not all that it seemed. In fact, it seemed very unlike any other dwarvish dwarvish domicile that you have been in here or in Gallifend or anything like that. In fact, this thing seemed to be a haunted house of sorts. Began going in, and there were cracked walls and ghostly hands pointing you in the direction of danger, and eyeballs mounted in the wall that would peek and shoot stuff at the people, and dwarves that seemed to be either insane or in comas. All of us seemingly a giant hand that came out of the wall and all kinds of stuff. So it has just been a nightmarish cosmic descent into some sort of hellish abode. In the meantime, Nina Gliglammer has, in this point, resumed what you assume is her natural form, which is the amorphous stack of faces, of crazy faces with red eyes and tongues sticking out, all gabbling at once. Um, you guys managed to cut, as you can see from the exquisite art that has been presented here. You guys managed to cut off one of the fingers of the giant hand, and it has now stopped moving in any real sense. But it's still there, sort of as a sort of a block to the area. In the meantime, Vondram has done some exploring, and in doing so, has somehow roused a large insect creature that has come skittering and chittering out of somewhere, out of the wall, maybe in the back room, and is now chasing up towards her. So that's where we find ourselves at this point. Now, I don't have a list of. I don't have a list of buffs that are on everybody. So what's everybody lugging?
I
Everything.
have I have
Uh-huh.
gravity bow.
Gravity bow.
So do I.
Now, why would you do that? For your little fart ass crossbow that you shoot sometimes?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Think I've got magic circle against evil,
Okay.
fly, and I think I lost an visibility when I
Someone cast
shot.
bless because I show bless on my
Oh
sheet.
yeah, you're right.
Uh,
Somebody,
And
that's
by
when I
someone cast
sneezed.
bless, it would have had to been Poe.
Yeah.
Don't remember doing that, but okay.
It's on my sheet, so if
I
not,
don't
let me know and I'll take it off.
It could have been me, probably Poe though.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
actually, yeah,
I
you
think
can.
it might have been
Yeah, you
Andrew.
can
Yeah,
Might
I
have been
forgot
Titus. Yeah, that sounds
because of
familiar.
your race or
This is
whatever.
the
I
one
think you can
time I
cast it.
neglected to watch the video from last time. Sorry, fellas.
That's all right. This
or you
happens. It
guys sure did.
happens.
I didn't do it because I only have a few spells left, and I
Then it could have been
wouldn't
me.
do it for that.
And honestly, I don't know
I
what
think it was
happened.
Titus.
Yeah.
Hero Lab seems to have reset everything, so I don't know where I am on spells used. Everything is at full strength.
Ooh,
I swear I didn't do that.
okay.
At least not knowingly.
All right. Well, be judicious, sir.
Okay.
Just to no cheating on your behalf if you can help it. All right. So that being the case,
But if I can't help it, I can cheat, is what you're saying.
well, it's like Mike always says, cheating is a free action. All right. So that's where we are. Any questions, comments before we get started? We should jump right in. Lots going on. Jennifer, welcome. Are you there? Because you're first.
Muted, Jennifer, if you're trying to talk.
Oh, didn't know. Hi, guys.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hi.
Did you get the pie made?
I got them both in the oven.
Excellent. All right, so you are the top of the order. We've ascertained the buffs. I think the big one on you is probably Bless. You are now as you are. So you were sort of standing. You can see you can sort of standing sort of in the middle of that area there. And out of the doorway, and I'm pointing at my computer screen like an idiot. Out of the doorway here,
Yeah.
that insect has come chittering out. You know, its claws scratching on the stone as it approaches you. It's moving quite fast, and those tail spikes are twitching. You're not sure if it's a poisonous creature or not, but it might be.
Okay.
Does it
I'm
look
going
delicious?
It looks insectile.
Okay. I am going to attack it with my spear, my
All right.
elven branched spear.
All right.
And so there's a buff. Glass is a +1 to hit, right?
Yep.
Gosh darn it. Why do I take the glasses off? Why do I take the glasses off, guys? Ever.
Tradition.
Let's see here. And I got a +4 to hit because of this special charged weapon of mine.
Okay.
Sweet.
What is it charged with? Like electricity or something?
It's whichever one I choose.
Raid.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, today it's fire. Most of the time it's fire. Vondi's kind of particularly fond of fire. So fire. Okay, 15, 16. Okay, almost there, almost there. Sorry. Christmas, it's Christmas. Hey, 26 hit?
It does.
All right.
26 will definitely hit. As it approaches you, you take the spear and just jam it down at it. Ah!
It looks like I get 2 attacks now, too. That must have happened when I wasn't looking. I don't use this all the time.
Sounds like cheating.
So here's a second attack.
All right.
Zoutoir, 2.
14 will miss.
Okay, so 1d8 +1. I'm going to do the base attack first.
Let me see what this is immune to. Nothing.
Is it immune to fire?
It is not immune to fire. Oh, 2 points of fire damage?
No,
Hang on
2
now,
points of
that's the
weapon
base.
damage.
Okay. 2 points of weapon damage, and then now the energy.
Fire.
Ooh, damn. Okay. Well, it's still a little light, but all
I'll take
right.
it. 11's better than none.
It is better than none. You manage to it's just you get from a weapon standpoint, you just manage to drag the blade of the spear across the carapace of the creature, leaving a little groove. But that groove immediately erupts in reddish glow and heat begins peeling off of it. And you can see the thing is sort of using several of its legs to try and smack at that as it feels pain from the wound from the energy.
Feel the pain.
Feel the pain. Is that a full attack action?
That is, and then I am going to just take a 5-foot step this way,
Okay.
right here. And over my shoulder, I'm like, I found a 19,000 legged friend.
All right. Arendar, what are you doing?
I'm gonna parlay.
Okay. Good.
Oh,
Good.
wait.
No, he's not.
I'm not actually. So
There's
these are
still
going to
time.
show -1 on the die because I'm +1, but then because of whatever happened with my will save, I'm -2 this round. So
All
this is
right.
so this is going to be a net -1 from what it shows here.
Okay. So 29 minus 1 is 28. That will hit. And 21 minus 1 is 20. That will miss.
Cut. Well, 17 points.
So one hit for 17 points. Again, you feel that sort of there's resistance there, but again, your blade passes through this creature seems like it exists on two planes of existence at once, and you can't touch them both. 17 points, did you say?
Yep.
All right. Any movement on your part?
Nope.
Okay.
Actually, I forgot. I'm flanking with Ono, so that 21, which is a 20, should have been a 22. Does that hit?
Does not.
Okay. All right.
All right, Wraith, you are up. Where are you? Oh, where
The
are you?
doorway.
I'm in the
Oh, you're
doorway.
in the doorway. Okay, I see you.
I'm going to uh pull out an invisibility potion and drink it.
Okay. Standard action, and you are now invisible. Let me get you an invisible token.
Okay. And then as a move action, I'm going to move into that room
Okay,
invisibly.
gotcha. All right, 1 second. Let me get that in here.
Sure.
Okay, one moment. There you are. All right, 1 second. Let me give this a little.
Remember to leave him on the map so it doesn't screw with your initiative.
I got you. I'm going
Not that I've done
to.
that before.
I've done it before a lot of times. Where's Rafe? There he is. Okay, and we're gonna give him a little tint there. All right. Can you see the dude? Oh, wait, hold on. Can you see?
I can still see myself.
Okay. Can you see the white circle?
Yes.
Okay, that's you.
Oh, so I can move the white circle. No, I can't.
No, because I just screwed up. Instead of putting you on the DM layer, shit. Okay, hold on. This isn't working as well as I'd hoped. 1 second.
Sure.
All right. Roll20's been giving me problems all day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stand for it.
Well, it doesn't like it forces you to get like really close to pick up something. All right, hold on. I'm just gonna move you out of the way here. All right, hold on. Okay.
I can still see him.
Yep. But now not. All right, so
Where'd he go?
that circle, Chuck, is you're in the center of it. Let me yeah, there you go. All right. So yeah, I got you. Okay. So you're gonna go to there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I gotta check something. Okay, cool. Let me just do a thing. And so that's gonna be it for you then.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, hold on. Okay. Cool. All right. Ono is not here yet. Poe is next then.
I'm gonna move into the room and cast enlarge person on myself.
Okay.
Um,
Don't block my shots.
yeah, I'm gonna get in between that centipede and Von Vondrum. He can
All right, you gonna
Hopefully.
attack? Oh no, you
No, I did
can't.
a spell. Yeah, I
Got
did
your
a
spell.
spell.
Okay,
Uh,
but you're gonna step in front of Andrum to take the brunt of the creature's wrath.
yeah.
All right, move and spell. That's it for you. So now it's my turn. All right, having a new creature right there, it is going to try and bite you, and that tail is coming around to try and get you. So he gets first things first. The bite is a 14. That's going to miss you. All right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the tail, 5, natural 5. That is, am I rolling the right dice? Yeah, okay. An 8, that is also going to miss you. So it's like weird mouth parts are trying to grab you. And as you are sort of you dodging away or blocking the bites, you could see there is some sort of weird amber saliva or something that's coming off of those teeth and filling its mouth. The tail is whipping around. It looks like it's just trying to sort of slap you down and knock you over, although that would be kind of difficult to do in your size. Arendar, I gotta check one thing. Okay, good, good. So the creature, so a couple of things are gonna happen.
Oh, did so it failed. Okay, yeah. I keep I've got this thing, Les,
Hmm.
called bramble armor.
Okay,
I always forget about it.
what is bramble armor?
Any foe striking with an unarmed strike or a melee weapon without reach takes 1d6 plus 4. It's basically like vines growing on me that are sharp.
Oh, thorns and stuff. Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
thorns and
cool.
stuff.
Is that
So
all the time, or is it a
um,
spell?
you have to turn it on,
Ah, gotcha. Okay,
but I'm going to turn it on with this thing. So I can do it for 8 rounds basically, and I think it's a swift action, so I can turn it on.
okay,
I
sounds
could have done
good.
it. I just
So I'm
always
gonna
forget about having it.
I'm gonna make it so we none of us will forget it,
Hmm.
and I'm just gonna pop it in here and put it up by you, and it's good for eight rounds.
I can keep it turned on for 8 rounds. Yeah,
All
a
right,
day.
sounds good. Sounds good. All right. That being the case, so a couple of things, Arendar, a couple of things happen. First, you hear from behind you a voice, and those of you who are in the room, I guess probably Chuck, or Rafe, you would see this, and to an extent, maybe Titus would see it. Well, no, Titus is out of the room.
I
Uh,
can peek in depending on the angle, right?
sure. At this point, it's not your turn yet, so.
And we have message.
So, Arendar, you hear a noise behind you, a high, sort of womanly laugh, as the creature in front of you vaporizes, which does not provoke, I checked. And behind you, you hear a familiar voice and a laugh. Oh, Arendar, Arendar, I'm over here. And she's standing under that eye. That eye, which you guys remember is sort of like
Uh-huh.
in the wall, kind of looking around, is now looking right at you.
Yep.
But that's all she does. Titus, now it's your turn. And you can hear Nina Glibglammer's voice in the room. Arendar, I'm over here. You're not fighting me anymore. You know, that kind of thing. Taunting him.
Okay, so she's moved, so I don't have a good shot at her anymore.
She's sort of standing at the below that eye,
Right.
which is moving around. That eye is moving in the wall, kind of like.
Okay. I'm gonna step up to the doorway. Why does it keep going there? Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is an isometric map, and I tried to
Wait,
do the
what
best as I
happened
could.
to her? Her health bar looks full.
Indeed, it does.
Is that DM error or?
I
No,
don't
every
know.
time we've seen her switch, she ends up full health.
Huh.
In the fight back in the castle, same thing happened. We had the faces down to about 2/3 health, and then she switched back to herself and she was full health.
Gotcha. Um,
Titus, I just sent you a message.
okay.
And it's a rhetorical question that may prompt something, but
Just
I don't
just
think it's going on now, is what
just
I'm.
check the box and say you like him. Otherwise, Les will never
Okay.
he'll never leave you
Uh,
alone. He'll keep asking.
yes, I like you. Yes,
Thank
you're
you.
keen.
I appreciate that.
Um,
And I
well,
must
since
have it.
she's isolated over there,
She wants us to go close to the eye, which I'm not keen on.
right? Um, I am going to cast web on her.
Okay. You're gonna
Uh,
sling
I'm
some webs at her.
I'm
As she
tempted to do fireball, but
Doing his best Spider-Man impression.
as you do that, you can hear her saying, "Slaves, rise up and aid me." Sort of sing-songy voice. Oh, slaves, rise up and aid me.
but where's the web?
I don't know. Let me find you a web that we can use. Okay. I wish that the stupid thing had better I've yet to find a decent web. It's a 20-foot radius, right?
Let me get you the
Yeah.
specs. That sounds about right.
We're gonna just pop a 20-foot rad thing.
Yeah,
Well,
20
that's
foot rad.
all right. So I'm assuming you don't want it all over there. So that would it's
I wouldn't mind covering the eye, you know.
yeah, this will do it if it is actually a 20-foot rad, which I suspect it is.
It is. I
Oh,
double checked.
you double checked? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can move that thing so to keep it off of your dudes, or you can just like, you know what really would be perfect is like right there.
I agree, yet I'm gonna move it the other way
Okay.
just so my comrades who just don't need some accommodation. So let's move it back.
Fine, go ahead.
Oh, do I have control over it?
You can move it, yeah.
Okay. So I need
Hey,
to
Les,
give
is she
enough
in
space for them to get by, but
the
enough
module?
so she has enough squares that she'd have to dig through it more than once.
Say that again?
I
So I
said,
need to
is
make it
she
so
in the
that
module?
everyone has enough to move around it, but it would take more, wouldn't it take more than one turn to try to get through that much margin?
Yes. So even if she makes her even if she makes her save, which means she can move, I think you're slowed to you can only move like 10 feet
It's
around.
difficult. Yeah, it's difficult
It's
terrain,
difficult terrain.
Okay.
and you can't see more than 10 feet through it.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
to
So I
roll
messaged
to
and let everyone
move
know
to.
I've left a border around. I think I've slowed her down with a web. I've covered the eye. Um, and that's about all I can do at the moment.
Okay, so let me go ahead and roll something real quick. And then Titus, I need you to roll a will save.
Oh, I will. I will.
What's the DC on the web?
Good grief. Hang on, let me get over there.
You probably got it. I think it's probably upper teens.
19.
Gotcha. I made it. So she is not enwebbed, although the web is covering the eyeball, and you can see little bits of like multicolored smoke sort of coming out of the pupil of the eyeball. It's not shooting, but it's like coming out. 15 will save. Okay, hold on. I've got to send you a notice here.
I was asking if she was in the actual module, Les, or if you created her. She was really annoying.
All right, Titus, sending you a message right now. She is in the module.
She is.
Yeah.
Okay.
See.
Not the module
And
that I looked through.
am I allowed to share this information
You
via
guys have
message?
message going, right?
Yeah.
Or you could just yell it out. I mean, it's not like you have to hide it
She's
from.
disappeared. Is that an illusion or a projection?
All right. So Titus yells out, she's disappeared. She might be an illusion, maybe a projection of some kind. She's gone. The rest of you still see her. And she's sort of like making her way forward out of the webs, kind of negotiating the webs.
Oh, and I just had to do a will save, and I think I failed it.
Well, no, if you could see her, it's probable that you made it. Or I mean, if you can't see her.
Oh, okay. All this double talk.
All right. So that is so Titus, you moved cast web, so the whole area over there, and the webs go almost up to where you're standing, Arendar.
Yeah.
And do that. Okay, and that is the end of the round. So we go into round three, and it's Vondrum's turn. Vondrum, you're hearing what Titus is saying, but you still see Nina Glibglammer kind of making her way through the webs, trying to move. She's sort of moving in a generally easterly direction, not at Arendar, not at you, but sort of like in the middle, towards the hand, really.
So she's definitely working her way out of it.
That's what it looks like. Yeah,
Well,
smiling. She's smiling.
all right. I know this is going to do some destruction to your web, but here's my question. With a fireball that has a 20-foot radius, it doesn't hit anybody directly if I aim it back here. Back here being, hang on, I gotta get
You want
My
me to put a
precious spider web.
back here, like being back here, right at the back wall corner.
It'll
Question
radiate
is,
out. Let me get you a. Here we go.
so it's going to radiate 20 feet, so pretty much the same as the web.
Yeah, exactly the same.
But my question is, being a
Well, not quite the
force,
same.
what?
Why is that 20-foot radius smaller than my 20-foot radius? What is going on? All right.
I can move your radius. I didn't know I could.
Maybe Marlo's
Oh,
been lying to you.
that second radius I'm thinking of, the red one, is a fireball. But I don't know why the red circle is smaller than the blue circle. That can't be.
Yep.
That's not right.
Whoops, sorry, I'm not trying to touch it. Jeez Louise.
That's okay. You can touch it. Here, let me make. There we go. There,
Amazing.
that now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. All right,
No,
so
we don't. We really don't want to hit Arendar.
oh, okay.
Usually they
That
do,
that
but not
something.
right now.
I mean, now he won't know he got hit, so I guess that's good.
Yeah, good point. Like that, maybe. All
No,
right, so we want to scooch it over just a little bit.
do a little scoochy.
All right, we got to scooch the blue one over too because that was not there before. So basically, you're overlaying a fireball directly over the area of the web, correct?
Yeah, let's just see what that does.
Okay. Kaboom!
Because
All
you're the
right,
web.
so Bondrum, Titus, Arendar, all of you feel this huge bloom of heat come back up because you're basically throwing that back against a wall and it's radiating back towards you. So
Right.
you don't take any damage, but the heat in here is significant. Titus, you may get a little bit of eyebrow
Oh, I don't have to
loss.
shave now.
You don't have to shave. Vondrum, beard's a little scorched. Arendar, you got it pretty close, man. That was close. And it drives you almost a step backwards towards Ono away from the explosion. But it does essentially what is expected. Now, Vondrum, I need you to make a will save.
Me.
Uh,
Okay.
yes. As the web basically begins combusting, there is fire everywhere over there. The eye is now burnt and black, and then sort of like squirts out a bunch of this sort of colorful mist, which is evaporating because of the flame. But the whole area is sort of filled with now fallen but smoking, flaming webs that are sort of all over that region. Uh, you see Glibglammer disappear, gone. The rest of you, except for so Titus and Vondrum, you don't see Glibglammer at all. The rest of you see Nina Glibglammer sort of standing amongst the burning detritus of the web spell, which is sort of like all around her. And she's just sort of standing there, and smoke is kind of pouring off of her, and she's sort of looking around, smiling, and kind of looking up. It looks like she's admiring your handiwork,
But to
Andrum.
me, I actually see that she's not in there anymore.
She's not in there. Yeah, you don't see her.
She's
The
gone.
rest,
Yell out.
So now we've had two party members call out that she's gone, even
yep,
though I still see her.
you still see her.
Okay.
Oops.
And
Hold
I
on.
marked off the fireball less.
Okay, cool. All right. Did you want to move at all? Maybe run into that fire and get close to her?
Hmm.
Oh, well,
No,
you can't see her, so you can't really get close to her.
no, I will. I'll just take a 5-foot step right here. Whoops.
Okay. Okay. Sort of. I got you. All right. Yeah, the eyeball seems to be destroyed. It doesn't look like there was when the
Okay.
fireball hit and there was that concussive heat bloom. It sort of crackled backwards, and now it's just sort of like this black. There's like some smoke coming off it, but it looks charred. There's pieces of black, sort of like flakes coming off of it. It doesn't
Perfect.
look like it's active anymore. It's not moving anymore, certainly. Okay, Arendar.
Well, Arendar would call out just to confirm. You don't see her standing right there?
Nope. She's gone. She's probably wily and casting spells of illusion on your eyes, Arendar.
Okay.
She
I'm
does
moving to
seem to be
there.
an agent of chaos.
Yeah, I'm moving there and taking a single swing at the bug.
Okay, go for it. How dare you hit my bug?
So this is going to be at +1, and it's just the first attack.
29 will hit. 11 points as you bring the falcata down upon it. You hear the crunch of this carapace, and it several of the legs begin twitching in your direction, and its segmented head kind of looks around and looks at you. It's got its like lamprey-like face. It's just kind of you
Okay.
can see this amber liquid coming out of its jaws and dripping onto the floor.
That's it for me.
You see you see now a guy step out of the thing, look around, stand there for a second, look directly north, and then hold on, I gotta check my pre-rolls. 59. Okay. All right. So you see this guy sort of step out. He looks nuts, but he does have what looks to be like a small, barely dirty or rusty knife in his hand. He looks to the north and then sort of looks
Which
around
way's north in this map?
straight up. Straight,
Okay.
yeah, north. He looks that way. He looks towards the wall, towards
With
the
the hand.
area where the hand is coming out. You don't think he's looking at the hand though. He's kind of looking in this direction right here. He nods once and then takes his hand. He looks at you and laughs, puts his hand up and takes the knife and sticks the knife through his hand. Not sure what that's about, but his hand, he's laughing the whole time. And the knife just goes through there. And now the knife is stuck through his hand. And he continues to sort of approach you. Invisible Wraith, what are you doing?
I'm going to try to use acrobatics to get
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 to get over here.
Okay. I will need an acrobatics check for that.
Yeah. So acrobatics is D20 plus 16. Let me verify that real quick. Yes, plus 16.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
Is that a natural one?
it is.
All right.
But it's still a
It's still a
17 because
It's still a
Still,
17,
it's a
but
skill
wise.
check, so it doesn't.
I know, but
And
I love so
it's an
17 is
18 if we
yeah.
have bless, but
You do
whatever.
have bless, but an 18 is not going to be enough. So
Okay.
you stop. I'm going to move you to where you stop, and you do accidentally hit the thing you were trying to get next to, and you can see it begin to sort of like search around a little bit. That make sense?
Yeah.
Now that's just a move action. You can still do something else if you want to.
Uh, can I do another move action? Do the same thing?
Try it again. Yeah, to try and slip away.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey,
29. That one works. And you do manage to get to, and I think you wanted to get to, it was about here.
Yeah, just the other side of this thing.
Okay, got it. All right, cool. It just you get full movement. So put it if you want to go in there, you can put it in there. You can see, I think, some of the things that I mean, you can see your environment, correct? Or here, let me pop
He's
that in there.
invisible, not blind.
Both.
I can get to here
Okay,
and I see some dwarf guy.
that's true. Yep. So
And
you would see
what's down here? Because there we go. Okay. So
there
now,
is so there's another one of those hands pointing at the guy.
where's the hand?
Right there.
that white one.
Oh, okay. And then I see a dwarf in circles.
Yes, he's sort of sitting there almost in like a lotus position. His eyes are rolled up in his head, and he's surrounded by these like blue circles.
Spa
Okay.
day.
Can you still see the white circle,
Which white circle? Oh,
Chuck?
yes. Yeah, I can see
Okay.
mine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, but there's like a you see there's like another one of those ghostly hands sort of pointing at the guy. The guy's just
Yeah.
sort of sitting there. His eyes are all white. He seems he's like the other guys. He's very gaunt. Obviously, there's no obvious food or water sitting around. He's just sitting there within these circles. He doesn't seem to notice you.
Okay.
All right. Um, however, as you are looking at him, you see the circles wink out one by one as they move inward from the outside circle to the inside circle. When
All
that
right.
happens, he stands up. His eyes are still completely opalescent white. There's no pupils.
Right.
There's no irises. He stands up and begins moving one, two, three, moving this way. And he kind of you see where he is around being relative to you.
Right.
But yeah, as you're standing there, they wink out, and he begins moving towards the group.
And he doesn't appear to be able to see me.
He didn't react to you. Doesn't yeah, it doesn't appear to be able to see you.
Okay.
All right. Is Ono here yet? Oh wait, hold on. I got a text from Ono. It says still doing bedtime. All right, so he'll be here when he gets here. Poe, what about you?
I'm gonna do full attack.
All
On the
right.
centipede.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. First attack. Ooh, 18. Oh, plus. Oh, I have plus already. So that's it. Yeah, 18.
18 is a hit.
Awesome. And then the second attack is a 20. So
And that's a miss. No, I'm just kidding. That's a hit.
6 plus
That joke
7.
never gets old, does it?
Mhm.
All right, 2 hits with the spear, I'm assuming. Is that only one of the hits, or is that both of the hits?
Oh, it's both of them.
Okay, 29 points. All right, that's a solid hit. You know, the spear pierces the carapace, and a lot of sort of yellowish, brownish goo is pouring out of the bottom of this thing. Its legs are scrabbling around, and its front whips are going around, and it's looking back and forth from you to Arendar. Doesn't know who to destroy first. It is grievously wounded, and it's lashing out. Do you want to move or anything?
Mm, no, because I can't really move and not protect Vondrum. So I'm good.
Okay, you're going to stay there. It is going to attack you again with a bite. First the bite. 16, I think that's going to miss probably.
19 is what my AC is right now.
Gotcha. Okay. And then the tail slashing back and forth. Also a miss. It was really sucked at rolling this time, as it's trying desperately to try and attack you, but does not manage it.
It's good.
All right, so over in the flames, the Nina Glibglammer disappears, and behind the
Quick
crazy guy
question.
with the
Did the flames
knife.
destroy the web? Because it seems to be still there.
They're not. So it took the web down, so the web would be ineffectual, but the flames are still burning the web. So there's a lot of like in that region. There's a lot of web on fire. Now the web has detached itself from the walls where you anchored them, and it's burning. But there's a lot of smoke rising up in the air, a lot of this acrid smoke, and a lot of like burning hunks of web that are on the floor in that area. But
Okay.
it's not completely destroyed. Like it's not vaporized or anything. All right. And then she reappears behind the crazy guy with the knife in his hand. At this point, she is going to cast that. Just make sure. Perfect. And she was like, slave. You could hear the gabbling voices like slave, 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 slaves, come help me, help me, help, that kind of thing. And so this guy is like, yes, 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 my lord, my lady, I will do so. And as he's like got this, and you can see he's like starting to, Arendar, he kind of looks at her and he's like, I will serve you. And he's got the hand is like the knife is like literally stuck through his hand. So the blade of it is like out the back, and he's like now like trying to backhand you with the blade hand, and he's smiling and laughing as he does so. So, but that's what she does. I'm just going to put a little marker on here to remind me of something. Just to make sure that I remember. Okay, Titus, you're up.
I'm thinking either Heavenly Fire or Magic Missile at Medusa, Glibglammer. I know Heavenly Fire. Any thoughts using message? Heavenly
Magic missile will
Fire.
do more damage.
What?
Yeah.
I say you let her go.
Magic missile will do more damage.
Okay.
You will hit
But
with the magic missile for sure.
I know the Heavenly Fire hit her last time. All right, Magic Missile. I'm gonna Magic Missile Glibglammer.
All right, 10 points, force damage. So give me a quick knowledge arcana.
Okay. Knowledge Arcana.
11 knowledge check. Okay, yeah. All right, now follow that up, that terrible knowledge arcana roll, with a perception check.
Okay. I should do a little better with that.
Yeah,
I
do a better
think.
perception check.
What's that?
Do a better perception check. There
Hey,
you
that
go.
was
sir.
way better. All right. So one of the things you don't know why, because of the 11, but one of the things that you notice as the magic missiles wing in, and you know as a sorcerer, you know that magic missiles never miss. They always hit their target. But in this case, they didn't go where you aimed. They were off to the side a little bit and kind of like, and in some cases, they look like they impacted on an area that she's not in.
Hmm.
Now, you know they hit, but there wasn't the missiles did not go where you aimed.
Can
And you're
anybody
not.
else see where they went? Can we all see where the missiles ended up that wasn't where she is?
Yeah,
Well,
certainly.
I mean, yeah, Vondrum, yeah, give me a perception check. Everybody else is sort of in between
I
you
can
and the.
message.
Yeah, you saw it too, Vondrum. In one case, at least two of the missiles seem to. Well, I don't know. Magic missiles don't really explode. They just are sort of like they slam into things and then disappear. In this case, they seem to disappear against open air.
Any particular spot where the open air was?
A little off to her right, so off to the left on the map, a little bit.
Like here.
Like more towards the
like
hand.
the hand.
More towards the hand. Yeah, just like a little. It's not far, but just a little bit over.
Huh. And I use message to relay that to everyone, going,
Okay.
this may be an illusion. The real caster or entity, whatever, could be the hand or close to the hand.
Talk to the hand.
Talk to the hand. That's right.
By the way, I drew that finger in there in case you guys want to take it with you when this is all over.
It's a nice drawing.
Yeah, thank you. All right, round 3 is over. Round 4 begins. Vondram, it's your turn. You are at the top of the order. You've seen this weird thing.
What's this hand doing? Is it still just
It's just like,
It's
so
dead.
one of the fingers is gone, and it's just
right?
sort of like, it's still emanating from out of the hole in the wall, but it's just sort of like laying there. Well, the
Bill,
word flaccid comes to mind, but I don't want to use that.
I think you
That's
just
not,
did.
it's not that. That's not what I mean. But yeah, it's just laying there,
It's
uh,
dead.
either dead or it's just not moving. It was dribbling some of that orange blood out onto the floor, but that
Okay,
stopped too.
I don't know. Like, can I see that this thing is more damaged than it was originally? The health bar on it.
Well,
Can I tell that it's taken some damage since it's been here?
it's hard to determine. So yeah, I mean, we put the health bar in there so it gives you an idea, but realistically, people don't have health bars over them, right?
Right.
So
That's what I
it
mean.
doesn't look damaged, although
Okay.
you know that I think Wraith has hit it with a couple of arrows. Certainly, Arendar has slashed it more than twice with his Falcata. And
Well, I'm trying to ascertain whether or not the fireball did any damage to her that transferred over to this other form of her. Whether
she doesn't look scorched in any way. But then again, she doesn't have any like slash marks on her either.
I'm going to try another fireball, aiming
Oop,
back here between her and the hand. There's a hole there.
you're
So
gonna throw a fireball in the hand in the hole?
see behind her. Well, before you put her there, there's a pretty substantial size hole where the
Yep,
arm is coming out.
right.
So aiming for the part of the arm right above that hole should keep
Okay.
everybody out of the blast radius, including I think Ono, who's on the other side of a wall too, right?
He's on the other side of that wall, yeah, but you don't know if there's a hole in that side of the wall either.
I don't know if there's a hole in that side of the wall into that hallway. Is that what you're saying? Wherever he's
Correct,
at?
yeah.
I don't believe there would be.
Okay,
I'm
so
just
you
gonna
want to
go on.
so
Yeah.
you're gonna shoot a fireball into that hole behind with that the hand is coming out of.
And my goal is to have it implode right there at that hole between the arm and the hole and catch her in the midst of it too. That's my goal.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't want to shoot
Uh
it all the way back to wherever the armpit is on that arm. You know what I'm saying? I want
yep.
it to hit, yeah, close.
Okay. So by virtue, all right. So by virtue of that, a couple of interesting things are going to happen. So the first thing, so uh, all right. So this is odd. I've never had this happen before. All right. So the fireball. So when you shoot a fireball, it's just like this little red pea that sort of skewers out to the target and then explodes. So you do that, and it goes in there, and it disappears. And then whump, it goes off, and you see what looks to be like a big jet of fire come shooting out of the hole. Basically, the hole has channeled the fireball into a fire column. The hand itself is completely immolated by this fireball, and it does hit her, although she does have SR. So, oh shoot, I forgot about the SR for the magic. Do magic missiles pass through SR?
Yes.
No, that you have to roll.
Or
Give me a quick SR roll, Andrew,
you
and
do? Are you
and
sure you
Vondram.
have to roll?
Let me double check. I want to make sure. I think
Yeah,
I
you
think
do.
he's right, but
I'm not sure how I'd do that.
add D20 plus your caster level.
Yeah,
Oh,
unless
okay.
you've got spell penetration or greater penetration, then you can add 2 or 4 to that roll.
Spell
Okay.
On top of
resistance.
all that.
Yes. So
Do I get to add bless to that?
No.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. 25. Okay, no problem with the
Yeah.
magic missiles. Now, Vondram, you have to do because I think Fireball is also
Yes, it
spell
is.
resistant.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I have
Spell penetration or greater
yeah.
penetration.
know. I took it on spell focus. It is that's evocation. Hang on, is a fireball evocation?
Yes.
It is. So
That will up your DC if
uh-huh.
the spell
Yeah.
affects it.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm sorry, you need a reflex, is that right?
No, no,
No,
no.
roll and add D8. Roll
D8,
D20 and add
okay.
8.
D20 plus 8, got it.
I will tell you the number to beat is
Boom.
16. Oh, another 25. Look at that. All right. So spell trinity, you were able to overcome her spell resistance. The fireball goes off and she is connected to it. So she gets hit by it, which means that she is going to
Now
get her
she gets,
own reef.
yeah, she gets a reflex save.
Okay.
And the
So
DC is higher
higher.
because of your
Right.
evocation
Spell focus or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
all right. So what's the
And I don't
DC?
know which levels the spell this is to answer. Oh, I guess I do. It's a third level
It's third
spell.
level spell.
DC, yeah. So it's 10 plus 3 plus
3
your ability bonus
five,
Plus that feat.
6. So 10 plus 3 plus 6 plus 1 is 10 plus 10.
20.
So
She's
the
got to get
DC
a
is 20.
20. All right, here we go. Oh, she did not get that. I am rolling garbage tonight. All right, so how much damage?
The damage as that is 1d6
8
per level.
8d6.
Yep.
8d6. That seems wildly unfair.
Average is about 25 or 30.
Well, that stinks.
Oh,
It's
that
not.
worked. 6 plus 5. That didn't work. 8d6. That should work. Oh, that I didn't go. I'm sorry. There it is.
24 points, all right, of fire damage. Okay. Well, she did not like that one little bit. So it did, but it hurt her pretty bad. So you could see now this fireball. Well, first things first, the hand is completely on fire. And it's burning. So we've got fire over in the corner by the old eyeball. Now that you've burnt, now the hand is burning. So you guys have caused a fair amount of damage. The whole place smells like burnt hair, barbecue, and you know and ammoniac smoke. The place is actually getting quite smoky in here. She has got several of her heads are now burnt and sort of sort of like crushed in, and the eyes are sort of melted and that kind of stuff. And she's sort of like woggling around and kind of doing that. She did not like that at all. All right. That
Nifty.
that being the case, did you move? No, you just cast. You're just like
No, I'm just
boom
gonna. I'm actually gonna take another step back here behind Polar.
behind Poe. Okay.
Yeah.
Arendar, it is your turn.
So I've heard them say that she's not where she is. She's off to the left a little bit. I wasn't paying attention when the magic missiles went in there. I was.
Well, that
Oh,
fireball just went through where she was supposedly and didn't hit her that I'm aware of. Maybe where she could have possibly
What, the
been.
first one you mean?
This fireball we just put through there went right through that area where the magic missiles dissipated.
Mm-hmm. Well, she got hit. I mean,
but like I said, Arendar wasn't looking, but he's heard. He knows it's there. That he's going to switch targets. But I'm trying to think. With the rules, how would I say I'm trying to swing wide to see if I catch?
well, the problem is she's basically cast displacement on herself, right? So that gives her a 50% miss chance. So it's not, I mean,
Okay, so it's not.
yeah,
Okay, so
it's not gonna help.
so 5 foot step to there.
Okay.
I'm within range. I'm taking a full attack, and then yeah, I'll have to any that hit. I'll have to do the 50-50.
And he's under the finger.
I'm on the finger.
He's giving the finger.
All right, he's on the finger. Let me see if I can move you to the front. There you go. All right, so go ahead. Now it is she has displacement spell on.
Displacement. So
Yeah, which is total concealment essentially. So 50% miss chance.
right. So these are these are blessed. So these are all +1.
Okay. All right, so 22 is going to miss. And is that a 17?
Yeah.
18 is
Yeah,
also
those
going to
both
miss. So
suck.
those were just two regular misses.
Yeah. I just don't know how to use the Falcata.
Well, give it a few levels. You'll get there.
Give a few levels. You'll figure
You'll
out what
get
you're
there.
doing
Don't
with
worry.
it.
Don't worry. All right. Knife guy tries to backhand you.
Okay.
Let me see what knife guy's attack thing is. Oh,
You
there
can
he
always
is.
get a natural 20.
Well, yeah, it's not great. And he's in bad condition, and you can see how debilitated this guy is. He's laughing up a storm. He thinks this is all good fun. But misses wildly with the knife
I
hand.
don't even know he swung at me.
Yeah, you might. I was just like, you may feel a little breeze, going by, a little smelly breeze. Invisible Wraith.
I'm gonna do a 5 foot step to here.
Okay.
Hmm. And then do a full attack at knife guy.
He's on the other side. Wait, he's on the other side of the wall. Are you talking about?
Oh shit, I moved the fireball. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Actually, the fireball needs to be gone anyway.
That's a wall right there. Oh yeah, let me
Ah,
take out the fireball.
yeah,
There's
his
actually two walls between you and knife guy.
okay, well in that case, I'm not gonna shoot at anybody.
Okay. You can, from your position, there are a couple of potentials.
Yeah, but they don't know I'm there, so I'm not gonna take a 5 foot step there.
It will invalidate the invisibility if you do.
5, 10, 15, 20. I'm gonna move down here.
Okay.
See if I see anything.
Nothing specific. You look on the ground where that guy was sitting, and you can see on the ground, you can see what looks to be the detritus of somebody who sits in the same place for days, right? So there is some foulness there.
Yeah.
And like it's just like some stuff sort of, various biological materials are sort of like in a little pile where he was sitting. But other than that, there's nothing that you can see there.
Okay.
All right. Is that it all for you?
Yeah, I'm just moving around and checking out the situation.
Okay, this guy is going to move to here behind the thing. He's ignoring the centipede completely. He looks at Poe. Hold on. Now he is going to roll a 38. 1 second. 38 does nothing but okay. So Poe, you would probably see this more clear than anyone. This guy, a dwarf, emaciated, the smell hits you, covered in a fair amount of like foulness. Is sort of like standing behind the centipede. He's looking his face is pointed in your direction, but you can't really see where he's looking because his eyes do not have any pupils or irises in them. They're pure white, like this opalescent white. And he's just looking at you, and he's like he's just babbling. He's just like, all this. We've entered the realm of chaos, and chaos is our mother, and mother must be fed, and blah blah. All this weird talk about chaos and mothers and feeding and all this other stuff. I mean, you can't make heads or tails of it.
Okay.
Ono's not here yet. Poe.
I guess I'll try to take the centipede out.
Okay. Centipede is grievously injured. It didn't even bother to attack the guy behind it who came up right behind it. So
Maybe they know each other.
maybe they do.
That hit last time, right?
18 will hit the centipede. Yes. You bring the spear down upon it, and you just spear it right through what you guess is its head, and it twitches a bit on the end of your spear and sort of wiggles and slashes around and actually bonks that guy. The tail bonks this guy, and he's sort of knocked over a little bit. But eventually, it stops writhing, and you take a foot, pull your spear out, and it lays still. It is dead.
Okay, cool. And then I'm going to move closer to Glibglammer.
All right, closer to the flaming hand.
Yep.
All
It's not
right.
flaming enough to be hurtful, right?
No, so the whole room is starting to fill with a fair amount of smoke. Two fireballs have gone off here, and they both had fuel. It's starting. There's a lot of acrid smoke starting to fill this room. Now the ceiling goes up quite high, and it's gathering up there, but it's starting to come down as well. She is going. All right, so. She's going to do a couple of things. So it is Nina's turn. There are many things that she wishes to do. So she is going to cast that at O. So 1 second. Hold on. All right, Poe. I need you the air around you seems to get quite thick, and your vision begins to fade. And do you have spell resistance?
Mm, I don't know.
You do not. Okay. All right. You begin and you begin to see things in the corners of your eyes. And the first thing you see is the need to roll a will save against this strange and unusual manipulation of your mind. Let me check the will on there. Okay. I need a will save from you.
2-0.
2-0. All right. So you begin to see, and memories flood. You begin to see creatures from the past, creatures that you remember being horrifying, and things that you've encountered in the past that have horrified you. And you begin to see their silhouettes uh, at the edges of your eyes. And as your vision clouds over, you begin to sort of see these things coming closer, like they're returning from their graves to come and get you and bring you down with them. But then you think, she's a creature of an illusion. She's a creature of madness, of insanity. None of this is real. And you make your will save and push back these silhouettes, and your vision clears, and you can see her once again. And what you see her do is move forward. Whoops. 1 second. I'm moving the fire, which I do not want to do. She moves forward and engulfs Arendar. So Arendar,
Hey,
this is a
consent is
special.
important.
She is completely consentless. So engulf. So here's the thing. Now you get a choice. With the engulf ability, so it's an extraordinary ability. So you get a
She's done this
choice.
to me before.
Yeah, so you get a choice. You can make a saving throw against the engulf to try and dodge out of the way, or you can take an attack of opportunity, but you can't do both.
I'm gonna try to dodge out of the way.
Dodge out of the way. So a reflex saving throw, I believe. Yes.
Oh,
Ooh, and you did not dodge out of the way, even with the +2 from evil, because she is indeed
I'm
evil.
I'm actually going to
No, are you gonna?
my brother's got a really good
You,
reflex save, so I'm gonna use my kip on. So what's your reflex?
you're gonna yell
11,
out, brother,
So
hey, man.
11. So it's
11 plus your pluses.
plus, so it's 2 for the picture of evil. It's 2 because it's the kit bond, so that's 15.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, 16.
Now, so that doesn't make it. So
So
you are
now
in,
we're
you
both
are
stunned.
engulfed. What happens to Wraith?
He's stunned for a round.
Are you-
Stunned for a round.
Yeah, so I'm invisible and stunned.
Yep.
Cannot believe that I rolled a 4 and then rolled a 1.
Let's call you Mub, Chuck.
All right. So Invisible Wraith is stunned for 1 round. Let's put that in there. All right. And Arendar, so effectively,
So I didn't make yeah.
if you don't make it, engulfed creatures are considered grappled. So you are grappled. You can escape your next round with a successful degrapple check. Um, But you are essentially grappled. And
Yeah, he's too pissed off. He's not going to
green,
escape.
he's not going to escape.
No, you can still attack while grappled.
I'm gonna have to look that one up, but okay.
Yeah, you can.
All right. So you are grappled. And that is what she is going to do. Titus, you are up. You've just seen all of this happen.
Yep. So if Arendar is engulfed, can I still use magic missiles or heavenly fire without injuring Arendar?
I would just do it anyway.
Magic
What?
missiles, yes, absolutely. Heavenly fire, it's a ray. So, well, no, it's a is it a column of fire?
Well, it wouldn't do anything to Arendar.
Go to bed, kid.
Yeah, go to bed.
Can you use the same? Can you keep using magic missiles? Do you have more than one spell in there?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, sorcerers have.
Yeah, it's a ray, so it's a ranged touch attack. Yeah, so you could do either of those and not hit Arendar. You can, try it.
Okay.
The problem is, so I'll give you I'll tell you right now, because of the displacement, if you use a ray, even if you hit, you get a 50% miss chance.
Yeah, magic
Uh,
missiles always hit.
Magic
Okay.
missiles always hit.
Magic missiles it is.
All right, here they come. More missilage.
Let's see here. 17.
Holy crap.
Damn, dude.
And I would like to point out, magic missiles always hit living items. They cannot be used against non-living matter.
That's true.
Less.
That's true. She's living. She's alive.
For
I
a
know.
bit.
Didn't I try to use a magic missile to set off a bomb on you guys back in Wrath of the Righteous early on?
Yes, yes,
And you guys refuted me handily, I must say.
yes.
I hate it when players use the rules against me.
I know
Yes.
it sucks.
I hate that. All right, so Titus, magic missiles slam into him. This time, again, you see sort of like this weird, like the area you're targeting is not the area where it seems like the magic missiles are hitting, but you know that they are striking the creature.
Right. So they do a little hook or dog leg or something, and
Mhm.
I convey that via message, trying to help him zero in on where they are, and I'm gonna I get to move 5 or 10 feet.
You can move your full magic missiles as a standard action, so you can move your a
Okay.
full move action if you want.
All right. I'm gonna park next to Vondi.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Cool. All right, so that's the end of round 4. Round 5 is coming up. Vondram is first. You see Arendar is within Nina Glibglammer now. She's probably been changed over to her side.
Because that seems like something he would do.
Yeah, totally. He's a side switcher.
That would suck.
It would kind of suck. You know what they say? Fireball again. It's the only way to be sure.
Are you waiting for Badram? I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
I
I
had, to,
would do a fireball again.
I had to cook them. Yeah, no, I'm not doing a fireball again.
I would.
Oh, wait. On the once you beat somebody's spell resistance, it stays. Oh no, it's for every spell, right?
Yeah.
Andrew, I need you to roll spell resistance again on those magic missiles.
Okay.
D20 plus your caster level. Ah, you got it again. Okay, no worries. All right.
Nice.
Okay, Vondram's gonna hold back.
You're gonna delay?
I'm gonna delay, yeah, because I think
All right.
Willem's got this.
All right. Arendar.
Hopefully Arendar does. He's got a lot better hit than I
You
do.
are grappled. The grappled creature is restrained. You cannot move. You take a -4 penalty to Dex, and a minus penalty to all attack rolls and combat maneuvers checks, except for those made to grapple or escape the grapple.
Yep.
You can take no action that requires 2 hands. Can you so let me ask you this. Is the
Falcata's
Falcata
one-handed.
it's a one-handed weapon?
Yeah.
That seems unfair. All right, so you can make a strike at -2.
Okay, I'm making 2 strikes at -2.
You,
And they're only at
I don't think you
-1.
can because you only get one action.
Okay. It's the first one.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? You're going to
How
crit
about a
me
how
at a
about a
grapple?
potential
In a
crit?
grapple? All right, 33 to confirm. That is a potential. That is a confirmed crit. So you're grappled and you crit her.
Well, she
33.
left herself
I
vulnerable.
told you Arendar was really pissed off.
All
So
right.
33 points.
So
33
he shoved
points.
the falcata up her bunghole.
All right, you see Arendar sort of just like he's got the thing and he's got around her arms, her hands are biting him and that kind of stuff, and he's just like we kind of whirls around with it, and you could this time you guys see before it's sort of like his weapon sort of moves through, but doesn't really destroy anything, and everything sort of knits together. This time he sort of discombobulates. And so he separates the top half of Nina Glibglammer from the bottom half, and they don't immediately reknit. In fact, the first thing that she does is she sort of lets go of Arendar and backs off a little bit uh, as she and sort of you could see these like weird sort of tendrils kind of reaching out to each other, trying to, and they're not able to knit. And so she flies backward against the wall and kind of stands there, and the two pieces are sort of sagging in the air, and you can hear her burbling. The voices are like, "No, no, this is not supposed to happen. No, no," and the voices are like, "It's not supposed to happen this way," that kind of thing. It's all twisted and torn, and she's, both sides are sort of sagging down the wall, and you can see at the edges, it's just sort of like beginning. It's almost like it's dissolving at the edges and moving inward. And
Oh no,
finally,
I'm melting.
it's melting. So it's dissolving and it's desperately trying to reknit itself. But eventually, the dissolve part and the reknit part meet, and there's like this noise, and she just completely disappears. Gone.
Or does she?
This guy sort of looks down at his hand and screams, and then falls backwards onto the ground, holding his hand, and he immediately vomits all over the floor. This guy, who's sort of just standing there, you can see suddenly his eyes come back, and these brown eyes, and he's sort of like wild-eyed and looking around and that kind of stuff, and he just sort of collapses onto the ground over here, and he's sort of sitting against the wall and mumbling to himself. This guy wakes up and sort of starts looking around. You can see he's barely moving. He's just sort of lying there on the ground, and his neck is kind of looking around. And those of you who are close, he's sort of looking at the centipede, and he's whispering something to it. You're not sure what, but at this point, we fall out of initiative, for Nina Glibglammer has been destroyed.
Woo! That's what Bandu
Yeah.
says.
Well done, well done.
Dang.
So at this point, I mean, Ono probably would come out of there. The hand is still on fire, as is some of the last of the webs that are sort of kicking around. You don't see anything else. The things but these guys. So this guy here, he's not laughing now. In fact, he's lying on the ground and he's trying to pull the knife out of his hand. But every time he gets a little move, he lets out a yell of pain. Ah! I can't get it out. And he's looking at Arendar. He's like, help me with this.
Oh,
And
I
you can
will.
see how weak and tortured he is. This guy's just mumbling to himself, and this guy's whispering. It looks like he's leaning over on one side now, whispering something to the centipede.
I can do a burst less on all these guys.
Okay,
All
before you
right.
do that,
I can do
Arendar's going to say, hang on a sec. He's going to reach down, help the guy up, and say, we need that dagger out of there before he heals you. And he's going to yank the dagger out.
Blood goes squirting out. He's
And
like
then he's
yelling.
like, all right, Poe, you're up.
All right, so you're gonna do a burst heal.
Yeah. A second. So 16.
All right, 16 points. All right, so his so their hit points go up to full. Um,
Hmm.
oops, hold on, let me get that one. So this guy, hold on one second.
Are the Phantom Hands still there, Liz?
Yeah, they are still there. Everything else seems to be okay. Everything, the lights, the Phantom Hands are still sitting there. There's
And this weird dimension thing is still here.
which one?
And this weird dimension that we're in thing is still here.
Yeah,
That's really weird.
it is. So everybody, so this guy sort of he stands up and he's holding his hand, which is knit together, and he's like, "So you don't have any, have any water or anything, do you?" The other two guys, even though they seem, I mean, they don't seem wounded anymore or anything like that. They
Right.
have not moved from their spots. The one guy who's laying down is still laying down. The other guy is still mumbling to himself behind the centipede.
I'll give the guy close to me, I'll give him a water skin.
Okay. He grabs it and just like he
But
takes
yeah,
down
but
the whole skin.
you don't want to drink the whole thing, dude. You're gonna throw up.
Well, in about 2 seconds afterwards, he does exactly that. He throws up. He's like, and he's like, tears are running out of his eyes, and he's like, I can't believe it. What's wrong with me? I don't know what's wrong with me. You gotta help me. You
Can I
gotta
do a
help me.
perception check?
Sure.
Because I'm not supposed to notice it probably, but I notice it.
What do you notice?
You know what I notice.
I don't.
That black smoke. I notice it as a person. I don't know that I notice it as Titus.
This stuff over here?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was coming out. That's when you guys first came in. It kind of squirted out at you guys. And
Yeah.
Really? It's
there was some
first time.
fire.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the fire from when somebody blasted. I think somebody did burning hands on the plant that was growing on the wall.
Oh, that was probably me. Okay. I
So it
didn't
sounds
notice
like something
it.
you'd do.
It's growing, so I just
Yeah,
okay.
the whole place is pretty smoky, and the hand is burning merrily. Although the webs are burning down now. There's not much smoke coming off of those, but the hand is burning. Um, but yeah, he's this guy just kind of like he's looking to you, Aaron Dar. He's like, "You gotta help me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong."
You just need to
He seems
recover.
massively freaked out.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here.
All right. So, I mean, do you guys like Wraith? What about you? What are you doing?
I'm stunned because my brother's a dickhead.
Hold on, I gotta write that down. Uh, okay, but it only lasts for a round for only 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm unstunned,
Mhm.
but still because my brother's a dickhead. So I'm gonna move back around here, and there doesn't seem to be any aggressive people anymore.
Well, nobody's fighting as far as you can tell. That one guy, the guy that came up out of the circles, he's just sitting on the ground and he's like mumbling to himself. You could hear him as you listen to it a little bit. He's still sort of talking about chaos and the mother of chaos and a descent into madness and the feeding must continue and that kind of stuff. He's just saying all these like weird shit that. But he has eyes now. Which is weird. And he's kind of like looking around and, he doesn't seem to be looking at anything specifically. As you can also probably see, this guy seems to have rolled over on his stomach and is crawling. He looks like he's crawling, trying to crawl underneath the body of the centipede. Like he's pulling the dead limbs up and sort of like wiggling. He's sort of nudging himself under there, almost like almost as if he's like pulling up a blanket and kind of getting under there. And
Mommy.
he's sort of whispering to the corpse in some. You can't really hear what he's saying.
So I'm gonna try to get this guy to snap out of it.
Okay.
I'll
What do you?
become visible
All right. Hold on a
because,
sec.
well, it's not an attack, but if I touch him, I'll become visible, right?
No, it's an
You can.
attack action.
Yeah, it's an attack. So if you slap him, you become visible, but not if you just like touch him
Okay,
or
well, I'll slap
fondle him.
him. I'll
Okay.
slap him, not hard, just trying to get his attention.
Okay.
And
So you give him. I'm going to put this out of the way here.
yeah,
You give him a little slap, and he kind of like his head kind of like even though you're standing right in front of him, you got one hand on his shoulder and you give him like a little whack, he seems completely oblivious. His head just kind of snaps backward, and then he kind of like he stops for a moment, and then he goes right back to sort of babbling incoherently about the mother of chaos and feeding and
You need
insanity
a
and
cleric.
descent into madness and that kind of stuff. And from there, you can also see that this guy is almost crawled. He's just crawling completely under the body of the thing, and you can see him sort of like he's turned on his back, and he's like underneath the body, and the goo that jetted out of it when it was hit by the falcata is sort of all around him, and he's sort of like pawing at it and that kind of stuff. It's getting all over him, and it's flipping gross. And this guy is just basically crying to Arendar.
So I'm gonna call the Poe.
Hmm.
Say these guys need therapist help.
I'm not that kind of cleric. We need to
Not
get
that kind of cleric.
the king's people.
Fair enough.
You know, as long as you've been adventuring with the twins, you probably should be that kind of cleric. Even if you didn't want to be that kind of cleric, you're probably getting on the job training. Just
It's a good point.
hang with
He
us.
makes a solid case. All right,
Okay.
so what do
I'm
you do?
gonna
You
move.
gather these guys up?
Yeah.
No, I don't care about this guy. I'm gonna move out here and cuss my brother out.
All right.
What the frick are you doing,
What are you
dude?
doing? Rolling natural ones, getting me stunned. I could have been in trouble. Real trouble. All right. It takes you a couple of minutes. So the one guy is like, he's like, I gotta get out of here. The other two guys, essentially, they give you no resistance. The one guy who's crawled under the centipede for whatever reason, you managed to, you could probably just push that centipede out of the way, in your enlarged state. And
I'm not enlarged anymore. I'll drop that.
you're gonna put back down. All right. But yeah, I mean, it's a centipede and it's dead weight, so it probably weighs about 150, 200 pounds, but you can pull it off of him fairly easily. And he's just sitting there lying. He's got kind of a sort of euphoric smile on his face, and he's just whispering stuff. And if you listen to the whispers, like lean down and listen to the whispers, you can hear it's similar kind of malarkey to the other guy. The other guy's louder, but it's like that same "the mother of chaos will devour us all," that kind of thing. He You're going to have to carry him because he doesn't look like he can even stand. That's the level of emaciation and malnutrition, dehydration that he's suffering from. This guy is pretty injured. If you want to use the levels of like dehydration, the guy who crawled under the centipede is probably the worst off, which means to your eyes, maybe he's been here the longest. But it's easily been several days that he's gone without food or water. The other guy, has been here less long, and then this guy seems to be in comparatively good condition, although he does look like he hasn't eaten or drank for a while. So it could be that this is when she acquired these guys. Now, what she was doing to them, I don't know. The two seem broken psychologically. The other guy is just a freakazoid mess. He's crying. He can't, he's like, I'm so thirsty, that kind of thing. I can't do it. He keeps looking at his hand like, what have I done? What have I done? That kind of thing. He just seems freaked out.
You guys want to search for a catch of any treasure here? You think there might be something here, or should we just get out of here? Might as well search, I guess, huh?
I'm okay to search, yeah.
I want to
I
find the
don't think
corpse
we're going to
makes
find
me.
much, but there's always a
Yeah.
chance.
What did you say, Titus?
I guess I'd like to verify that Nina is truly expired. So if that involves
Well, there's no
searching-
body, so
Yeah, she
What's that?
disappeared. She
Right.
dissolves.
right, which made me suspicious. Like,
Gotcha.
is she
Okay.
really
Rightfully so.
gone?
just because she does that all the time.
Right.
She's
That's a good
probably
point.
back on her
So
original
if we
plan,
happen
though.
to turn up some loot in the process, feel free to vote against. That's just my inclination.
Now I'll start looking around.
Okay. You don't see anything sort of out in the
Look at the cracks in the walls.
yeah, you don't see anything like that. But if you peer into the cracks, you can see in the crack that has the hand, coming out of it, and you have to kind of wait because it's quite hot in there. You can't. I mean, you could peer in there, and it looks like there may be some bodies in there that look like they've just been dumped. Maybe two or three bodies.
Can we dispel fires if we cast him?
Yeah, probably. I mean, cast some water on it. You want to put the fire out?
Yeah, I can cast quench
Okay.
or what's it called? Yeah, I would just want a cool thing. Drench, that's it.
Got it. All right, yeah. So do a couple of those, and the fire is now out all over the room, and you guys can, although it's now white smoke instead of black smoke, is line up. But yeah, there's a couple in behind the hand, sort of under, sort of tossed in. It looks like there's a couple of bodies, and there's also another couple of bodies in this area where the centipede came out from.
But do we recognize?
They're pretty decomposed. In one case, there's one behind the hand that's almost skeletal.
So moving around and trying to search all this, what is it, perception or
Or are you just going to give us an easy out and say you don't find anything, leave?
Oh no! If you guys go ahead and take your time and sort of drag those bodies out and look at them, you end up finding about 5 bodies. They're obviously dwarves in various states of decomposition. Like I mentioned before, one of them is skeletal, but none
Yeah.
of their equipment and materials seems to have been taken from them. And so, if you pile it all up, in one hand, one of them is wearing what looked to be the desiccated tabard of a Talon. And underneath that tabard is a set of dwarvish, obviously dwarvish size, but it looks to be masterwork chainmail. Another dwarf has a set of scale mail on. Now he's not wearing any tabard or any clothing on him. It's just the scale mail, but it looks to be of high craftsmanship as well, maybe masterwork as well.
Hang on, Les. I think I'm supposed to be writing this stuff down. All right.
No, I got it.
Oh, you're the guy. Okay, I can never
Yep.
remember.
You got it?
Yeah, Mike's got all the treasure.
All right. All of them have little bags of coins, none of which seem to be at all disturbed. And total, you find close to 200. It's 188 gold pieces, and another 110 silver pieces between the five guys.
Hey, they should start a burger joint.
5 dead guys. Fries are
Ooh,
double.
I
Okay,
like
that's
it.
probably the marketing needs a little bit work on that one.
Nah.
There two of them individually. Each have two of the bodies. Each have one apiece. It looks to be little vials, potentially potions. They do radiate magic. The first one is a potion of purify food and drink, and the other one is a potion of electrical resistance.
Well, that first potion would have been handy at the thief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. And one of them, who's not wearing any armor, has a small bone scroll case, inside of which is a scroll of Summon Monster 1 and a scroll of Identify. And that's it. That's all you find. The interesting thing about this is it does not look like these men, well, they're all dead, to start with, but it doesn't look like these dwarves were wounded. It's not like they died in battle. There's no obvious, although some of them are quite decomposed. It doesn't look that there's no obvious like sword strikes and axe hits and stuff like that leave bone damage, right? Cracked skulls, broken bones, big chunks and ribs. None of that seems to be apparent here. None of these people seem to have died by violence.
They all starved to death.
It's possible.
Hmm.
I mean, you can't tell from the decomposed remains, really, but
Well, yeah.
but yeah,
Do we
it
see
looks
a
like they
Glibglammer
starved.
corpse.
There's nothing that looks like Nina in here. No.
Would a perception or something identify any sort of remnants
Sure, you can try that. Yeah.
or I wonder if she just went to another plane. Would a knowledge check
Yeah,
help
she's
with-
probably a native of the Chaos Plane, and that's where she went back to. would be
Yeah.
my guess.
Would
It's
knowledge
possible.
arcana help?
It
Knowledge
depends.
Arcana or Knowledge Planes, maybe.
If she was summoned here or transferred via spell like a summoning, she disappears and goes back and is alive back there. But if she like made her own way here,
Mm.
like traveled directly here, she dies here. She's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's my
There's
knowledge.
certainly knowledge planes. So basically, it's along those lines. Like you didn't get the impression from her that she was a summoned creature, although definitely a creature of chaos and frankly had some otherworldly kind of abilities and stuff like that. So, it's possible that what Mike's saying is true, that, she came here on her own accord and has been permadeathed by you guys. She certainly seemed in her final moments to be desperate. She was desperately trying to reattach herself to the bottom portion of what Arendar had managed to sort of chop through. You do not, even with the 30 perception check, Titus, you do not see anything in the place where she was, where she died. You don't see anything at all that would indicate that she's hiding, or that kind of stuff. There's literally nothing left of her.
Okay.
So
So
let's
if
get
she
out of
if she
let's get out of here.
Okay.
all right. So you come back. I mean, you make your way back out of the thing, and the smoke is, sort of climbing down. But you're like, you step out, and there's a couple of the Kingsguard are standing outside, and they're like, "Is everything okay?" you know, and you're like, "Brr," and they're like, "Who are these dudes?" They immediately come in and they're like, grab up the guys, and they're like, we've had a messenger come to us. You're wanted. They want to see you as quickly as possible in the main King's Hall.
Did you
And
tell him we
so,
didn't do it?
I didn't do it.
well, they're still working that out. But yeah, so I mean, one of the Kingsguard guys escorts you. The other guy calls some other people that are standing around to help with the three, and they take them. We'll take these to the halls of healing, that kind of thing, and see what can be done with these poor wretches. And you sort of make your way back to the hall. When you get there, a couple of things are going to happen. So
Roll initiative.
as you get yeah, roll initiative. The entirety of the city is against you now. No, well, so there's a variety of things happening. It's obviously during the period that you've been at Glibglammers, that things have been happening. Right. And so as you get there, a couple of the Kingsguard who you recognize from the banquet will kind of take you aside. And there's all of these guys are sort of in the front of the hall. You guys kind of come in the door. And the guy's like, they've been discussing a variety of things, while in your things, but they want to see you as quickly as your thing. Also, a few minutes ago, um, they'll tell you that there was a couple of servants that survived and were captured that had been under the direct effect of that cone that Glibglammer was throwing out. They have now returned to largely normal. They're not violent anymore, although they seem pretty damaged, like maybe like brain damaged. One of them is crying. The one servant girl is crying profusely and cannot be stopped. I think there was also, you tied up one of the minor nobles, and he's babbling incoherently about stuff. But they are not violent anymore. And the Kingsguard guy basically is like, "Did you kill her? Did you find Glibglammer? Did you
Yeah,
end this?"
we ended her
That is
with
fortunate,
extreme aggression
and a little prejudice.
and
Uh,
a
All right,
little
so basically he
prejudice.
says, he nods. He's like, that's a good thing, because it's probably, and you get the impression that them not being violent anymore was probably contemporaneous with you actually killing Nina Glibglammer and dispatching her, either killing her outright or dispatching her from whence she came. About that time, you see Duke Gallo. They're all sitting. A lot of these guys are sitting up at a main table up in the front of the hall, and he waves you guys over. And Jinnis, his one of his guys. And he goes back to sort of the discussions, and Jinnis comes over and basically says, "Thank God you're back. There have been, many things, several things have happened since you're gone that you need to be apprised of." Um, so the king still seemed to be under some sort of malicious effect up until probably 10, 15 minutes ago. Again, sort of like around the same time that you guys killed
Well,
Glibglammer, suddenly the king was normal again. Now he was like after you guys had captured him, he was like, I've done all this, and I'm sorry, and that kind of stuff. But it was really just a few minutes ago after their discussions when he's been silent ever since. He hasn't said anything. Uh, there have been some discussions, and basically you can see that the at least four of the five surviving nobles are up at that table. So there's the king, Steppengard himself. Duke Gallo is up there. Lady Timor is obviously that she's had some medical attention. She's sitting up there as well. Dashkaban also seems to have recovered sufficiently, although he looks pretty beat up, but he's at that table as well. And Lord is there as well, and they have been talking. Lady Dane's not there, and Janice will tell you that Lady Dane's condition is still quite serious, and she was unwell. She wasn't well enough to come here and engage in these discussions, but the output of her discussion, she basically gave her seal of approval to whatever. In this case, it was Lady Timor. She basically said, "Whatever Lady Timor says goes for me too." So the girls are sticking together in this one. But
Yeah,
she's
makes
still
sense.
quite ill from the throat slash. Anyway, Janice is basically like a couple of things have happened. The first thing that the king did was he tried to abdicate the crown in favor of Lord Is, and let's go over that. Let's go over there real quick. So he tried to abdicate to Lord Is, but Lord Is made the case that basically with effectively the Bandu Hills are now at war with Sargava as well because of this thing, the Elite Pass issue, the obvious participation in whatever Nina Glibglammer was doing, and the potential, based on your testimony, based on your information, the potential involvement of the Sargavans and their agents in ultimately the poisoning of the king. The king tried to give the crown to basically abdicate in favor of Lord Is, and Lord Is rejected him, and basically said, "Look, I cannot be king because I have to fight this war." And so at that point, the rest of the table basically said, "Lord Is, we are going to name you Field Marshal of the Bandu Hills, and essentially you will be the Supreme General." They've already dispatched messengers back to their sorry, hold on. They've already dispatched messengers back to their homelands, such as they are, and messengers to the dead, those people who there's Field Marshal. Uh, Basically, those people who died, they've sent messengers back to there to essentially say, "Hey, look, you've got to get a new council member in place, the next in line, because we've had a fair amount of bloodbathing here." And so those messengers have been sent. In the meantime, Gallo, Timor, Dashgaban, and Lady Dane have all sent messengers out as quickly as possible to go and retrieve their whatever armies they can put together and put them under the control of Lord Is. And Lord Is sent back for his guys too, and he's taking control of essentially the King's army at Brest. So all of the entire Bandu Hills military has been officially put under the control of Field Marshal Is. He's basically said, "I reject kingship. I'm not going to be the king because I have to fight a war against Sargava." And there's been a lot of talk about that. Basically, he says in 2 weeks, based on our meteorometers, In 2 weeks, the elite pass will be thought enough for their army to move through, which means we have 2 weeks to try and get this together, which means we have to move now and gather this stuff up. It's shit, it's 6 days just to get to Gallows' house. At least Gallows guys are on the elite pass, and that's where they're focusing. So here, let me go to this. Let's see, does this work? All right, so we're back here. And essentially, what is trying to do is he's trying to get all of the guys from North Bandu. Can you see that arrow?
Yep.
And trying to get all of the guys from South Bandu to converge at the Elite Pass and try and stop 5 Corps from getting through. Jinnis basically says, and look, they've spoken at length of this. Has called in some of his guys, his military guys that are here in Brest right now, and the what I've overheard is that they're quite worried that they'll be able to make this happen. They don't think that they can get there in time with enough force to stop 5 Corps from getting through. They're going to try, but they're not sure that they can do it, because it's just going to take too long to gather up the forces that they have. Because the forces are all dispersed. They'll get Gallows guys, they'll get Timur's and Dashgaban's guys, uh they'll have reinforcements coming in from Iz's domain, and they'll have the king's forces, and they hope it's enough. But they can't. They're hoping that they can get everybody else to move as quickly as possible. But the reality is, there's no way that they can get those forces to Gallifend in time to converge there. So they're like, we're going to have the military forces of probably 4 domains at our disposal when we get there.
Weren't the Cebu going to converge on that area too and try to fight?
Well, the Osibu have been conducting a
Guerrilla
guerrilla
things
war, and they've been doing it, pretty much
the
since
whole
it
time.
started.
Yeah.
But the Osibu have not been able. So you can see they've sort of like split apart in these little things, and they have been harassing them basically constantly. But the Osibu Mwangi are not fighters they're not
They're not
fighters in the
standard infantry. They're
they're
not
not.
going to stand up and go toe to toe on a battlefield with them.
They're guerrilla fighters at best, talented and motivated, but from the point of view of the Sargavan 5 Corps, they're more of a nuisance rather than a real threat.
But they're a factor that we could utilize possibly. I mean,
Potentially, yeah,
if we could communicate with them,
it's possible.
coordinate, might be able to something that we could use to delay the 5 Corps until the rest of our people could get there.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly worthy of contention.
So do we have any sense of political alliances going? Because if Glibglammer was independent and from a different plane, I guess I'm trying to figure out
Hmm.
what head we have to lop off to kill the beast. Do we have any thoughts in terms of who might really be behind this? Or what motivations are really behind this?
Sargava.
Well, certainly We don't know if Sargava instigated this or took advantage of the situation. The the evidence that you guys have brought together, that you guys have thing with Jaas and the hobbits, and the cooks and stuff like that, seemed to indicate that it was definitely Sargava who fomented the poisoning of Steppengard's family. Now, whether or not so they took a shot and they missed, because your guess is that they were going to try and kill the entire family, throw the kingdom into chaos, and then when the time came, just walk through the Elite Pass during a period of political upheaval, right? While the dwarves of the Bandu Hills are trying to figure out what happened, who did this, and elect a new king. The Sargavan ambassador is like, how can we help? That kind of thing. Let us help you. And then their guys just kind of like rock through Elite while everybody else is pointing in the wrong direction. Now, Glibglammer, who has been Chamberlain for something along the line like 6 months prior to the poisoning, we're not sure. I mean, you're not sure what she was doing. It's possible she was. It seems clear that she feeds on madness and insanity. And it looks, based on the bodies that you found in her apartments, it looks like that she has been sort of feeding more or less on a regular basis on individuals. But it's possible, I mean, theoretically, she could have seen what happened to Steppengard's family as from the Sargavans, who are trying to do like they always do. They're trying to divide and conquer, right? And she sees this as an opportunity to really upgun her ability to feed on insanity.
Hmm.
And then suddenly now she's got the king under her thumb. She's doing other things. She's fomenting war. She's fomenting internecine all kinds of things. It's very possible she capitalized on the Sargavan activities
Hmm.
to feed better.
Okay, so you're suggesting that she was just an opportunist and not the mastermind getting Sargavans crazy, and she was just
There does seem to be clear evidence that at some point the Sargavans and Glibglammer became aware of each other and
hmm.
began working together in certain ways. And that
Oh,
evidence is suggested by the fact that the ambassadors, the Sargavan ambassadors, were the ones who put the poison in the banquet food, who arranged for the delivery of the poison and got it into the food. Now that poison probably came from Glibglammer, so that she could have, it was a banquet, right? She doesn't eat regular food; she eats insanity, and there was plenty of insanity in that banquet hall.
huh.
It would have been a feast for her. But
Okay.
at the very least, there does seem to be they were working together in this regard anyway. Now, who knows whether or not they were how deeply that relationship went? And it
I mean,
does.
ultimately, it's the Chilaxians, though, right? They're kind of sponsoring the Sargavans. Isn't that-
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, the relationship between Chilaxia and Sargava is strange in that Sargava is a colony, I guess, for lack of a better word, of Cheliax, and the Sargavans are nominally Chilaxians, right? But they've been there's Elater has been here for a long time, closing in on a century. So several generations of colonists have lived here, and you know how colonists are. They grow away from the parent place. Now, obviously, from a racial standpoint, Sargavans are essentially Chilaxians, and there's always been a sort of uneasy relationship between the Sargavans and the Mwangi, for example. So Sargavans and Sequin, all this stuff, and this has all just kind of come to a head. I don't know that you can make the case that it's the Chilaxians who fomented this war, and turned and said told the Sargavans to attack to the east, but and pacify whoever is out there. But they certainly, I mean, you've run into a couple of actual Chilaxians here, and the voyage to get here, because teleportation around here doesn't work right now. So it's possible that the Chilaxians teleported in to somewhere outside of whatever the zone of control of the teleportation problems is, or they
Hmm.
or they sailed here. It's probably a month and a half, 2 month voyage to get here from West Crown or Igorian Cheliax. So if you got Chilaxians here, they've known about Sargava's plans and ostensibly support them, for a while.
Okay.
It has been about 2 to 2.5 months since the fall of Gate Pass.
There hasn't been any devil activity, though, right? I mean, we're not seeing any Chilaxian kind of because their whole
The,
culture is built around devils, right? I mean,
right. The only devil that you saw, and you think it may have been a devil, was the creature that Lady Placaro summoned to help her escape from the banquet. So that creature was devilish looking. So let's just take a quick look at him. Go back to the banquet hall for a
she
moment.
was Sargavan, you said, right?
She was definitely Sargavan.
Like
So
a consulate or something, or a representative.
you hadn't run into her before, so you're not sure in what just gonna put her on a token layer so we can see the thing. You don't know in what circumstance she was there. Was the creature that she summoned, though. So it does have a devilish look about it, and it was big. I remember it sort of like tossed her up on its shoulders, and she rode it out until it got to the place where it disappeared. Now you probably will remember or probably know that devils can do can do teleports fairly easily. Most devils have some sort of teleport ability. So it's possible he got her, knocked away anybody that was threatening her, and then teleported her out of there. That's what your guess as to what happened. So that could have been a devil. You haven't seen, I'll tell you what, you haven't seen her in Bresk since. Now, the problems associated with teleportation in this region, which is like you burn up, there's fire, it's precluded. A devil might not be problematized by that. Devils generally are resistant to fire, I think, aren't they? Or immune. Hold on.
Yeah.
Some of them are.
Let me check. All right. Whoops, no, that's not it.
Most demons and devils have at least some kind of resistance to fire if they're not immune.
Immune to fire and poison, resistance to acid and cold. So the the teleportation problems that you've encountered and that are keeping you from teleporting around here and using teleport are fire based, right? You burn up, upon re-entry. So it's possible that that creature, if it was indeed a devil, and it definitely had a devilish air about it, either was able to shield her from those problems, or just simply or they may be dead. They teleported out of there. It may be that she was unaware, or it was unaware of the problems associated with teleporting. They may not be alive. She may not be. You certainly haven't seen her since, or her creature. So,
So what do these people want from us?
well, so there's more news, right? So after Lord Is basically declined the kingship, um, Gallo offered it, or Steppengard offered it to Dashgaban. Now, Dashgaban, as you will remember, is not the biggest fan of the king. In fact, he thinks he's always been of the opinion that Steppengard is a weak person. But he has no interest in being king, and that has not changed. So Janice is telling you all this. When Steppengard offered him and offered to abdicate in favor of Duke Dashgaban, he basically said, "No, you've made your bed. Now you have to lie in it." And in fact, if anything, immediately afterward, Duke Dashgaban forwarded the motion among the nobles there that he should be tried for treason. He should be that Steppengard should be imprisoned, tried for treason, and executed. Was Dashgaban's sort of thing. And that discussion, Janice will say, that discussion sort of devolved into Gallo and Timur saying, well, he was affected by the deaths of his family, obviously, and this whatever it was that Glibglammer was doing to him. There's like essentially they fomented the idea of that we should be merciful under the temporary insanity defense, right?
Okay.
Um,
I
stepping,
thought whenever we were doing our research,
uh-huh.
I thought we found that there was some artifact that kept the kings from being able to be influenced magically.
Yeah, supposedly the Book of Eight Lands, it's called, is supposed to prevent any king of the Bandu Hills from being, from a magical standpoint, it's supposed to preclude them from being affected by mind-affecting spells or effects. So
Right.
that the kings of the Bandu Hills are always supposed to be clear-headed. In
So
this
how did
case,
that
though,
happen?
we don't know.
Okay.
Jinnis says that that's a great question, though. We should find out. And pulls over a couple of King's guards, and he says, "Go down into the crypts and go find the Book of Eight Lands and bring it here." and they're like, okay, yes, sir. And so they take off. But yeah, so they went back and forth, and finally, with Gallo and Timur saying, we should be merciful, he was negatively affected. It wasn't him. It was her that did it, and now he's obviously. I mean, there's no question that he's going to abdicate. He's not going to be king. It's what we do with him afterward that we're discussing here. And finally, Field Marshal Is came in and said, and sided on the side of Gallo and Timur, and basically said, "Look, we don't know what happened. What we do know is that his entire family was killed by the Sargavans, and then something else occurred that made him crazy. And I don't know that, and Is also made it like a big point of like saying, hey, look." We don't execute our kings in the Bandu Hills, although this may be construed as treason, maybe certainly construed as a huge abrogation of his kingly duties and responsibilities. I don't know that we should be building. Is like I don't think we should be building a guillotine out front just yet until we know more. And they all sort of, and finally Dashkaban sort of relented, right? So he's like, all right, well, I won't slay him where he stands, that kind of stuff. He's like, I haven't walked back the thought of charging him with treason. What I have walked back on is the idea of summary execution. And finally, having run out of, so remember, Lady Timur is human. So it would be, they kind of, everybody, by a sort of mutual agreement, including Lady Timur's agreement, they sort of passed her by for the idea of could you be king? And they finally came around to Gallo, and they said, Duke, you're the last person. Everyone else is dead. Everyone else has rejected it. Will you accept the kingship? And Gallo, although he'd already rejected it once, did accept Steppengard's abdication in his favor. So technically, as of about an hour and a half ago, Duke Gallo is now King Gallo of the Bandu Hills. Now there's a lot more things that have to happen, and there's a lot more challenges that they have to face. Not the least of which is that they have a war on their hands now, an outright shooting war that they have to protract against the Sargavans. But nominally, according to Jinnis, Duke Gallo is now king of the Bandu dwarfs.
Sweet. And we saved his butt, so it's nice to have
Mhm.
higher ups and, people in power that owe you.
Yep. Um, so there's a fair amount of going back and forth. They're still at the table and that kind of stuff. But at one point, Lady Timur seems to excuse herself from the table, and you guys are kept there because eventually Jinnis is like, eventually they're going to want you to brief them on what happened. But in the meantime, just hang out. And Lady Timur approaches, and she ends up going directly up to Wraith. And she says to Wraith, she says, I received your letter, and I got the message through to Princess Shalosha. So with hope, she understands what is going on in Sequin, and well, she's been able. I've been able to with hope. I'm expecting a message back. My hope is that she will understand better what the activities in Sequin, and and that she will proffer that explanation to her father.
Chuck, did you say that too?
Hmm?
Did you talk to her about this too?
As far as you know.
Okay. Because I know I talked to her about it, but okay.
So she also looks at you, Wraith, and she says, that being the case, and if everything turns out the way we hope, I expect you, and she kind of looks at all of you, but also at your brother, I expect you to fulfill your promises, both to me and to the princess, Shalosha.
What promise
And
was
then she
that?
nods.
I don't
You have to
know.
ask Wraith about that. I don't know.
What are you promising, dude?
Um,
I didn't
with that,
promise
she
anything.
said, she's with that. She said, "Well, as part of these discussions, obviously, you have done the kingdom of Bandu an immense service. Um, we have a great deal to we have pressing matters that we need to attend to, and we know that we
Yeah.
cannot presume upon you, nor would we choose to. But you've done us a great service, and I know that the king." And she's sort of like, she kind of like, I have to get used to saying of the king. King Gallo has said that you are friends of the dwarves and you will be and friends of Bandu and you will be acknowledged such. And she says, for my own efforts, for the efforts that you did on behalf of all of us, um, I would like to offer you in the event that we and the whole region are succeed in throwing Sargava back into the bay. I have set aside land grants for each of you. If you have wished to, when all this is over, if you wish to come back and live in the Bandu Hills, uh, I have I have land grants and farmsteads for all of you in my territory as
Deal.
a reward for your service, not only to me but for the king. So yeah, basically, if you ask her any questions about that, essentially these are little farmsteads within. So you'll remember when you went into Lady Timor territory, it's high in the mountains, cold, that kind of stuff. But her territory is sort of like there's a lot of magical stuff there. She's basically apportioned out a large area that's much more temperate. They grow things there. There are farms there. There are ranches there, and she's basically saying to you guys. You will have places if when you decide to retire and you don't go back to Gate Pass if in the event that you don't go back to Gate Pass, um you may come to my land and there will be a place for you here. And also don't forget, this is me talking, don't forget you have the horses from Duke Gallo too, those horses
All right.
that he gave everyone as gifts. So
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the +5 Holy Avenger.
they don't have one, and even if they did, they probably wouldn't mention it because they've got a big war on their hands.
Yeah.
And that's very generous. Let's make sure that we could choose to go back to Gate Pass if we want.
Yes.
Yep, understood. All right. So that being the case, they go back. Then these conferences are thing. You're probably and food and wine is brought to you guys, and it's a big hall, and there's plenty of seating. There's tables there, so you guys can hang out. And eventually, there's these discussions. Is essentially says, "Look, I've got work to do," and he bolts, so he leaves. And he acknowledges you guys and afterward, and as he's going by, he kind of stops. He says, "Look, I have a great deal of work to do. I have messengers out all over the." Um, he's like, "I dare not ask, but if possible, if you can help us in this war in any way, we would be much obliged." And then he doesn't wait for an answer. He just sort of like goes off out the door. He's got to coordinate weapons, get guys together, get
Yeah.
supplies, all these kind of things. So he's busy. Eventually, Duke Gallo separates himself and comes over, and
You mean King
basically,
Gallo?
yeah, he comes over to you. If like, you're like, "Long live the king! All hail King Gallo!" If he comes over and he kind of smiles and
I'm gonna walk up to him and say, "It's good to be king, isn't it?"
so he kind of laughs. He's like, he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to this. Um, I'm not I'm not sure what we're going to do with Steppengard. He's obviously a broken man. Uh, whatever it was that she did to him, and I have no question that she did something to him. Um, it is completely taken away his ability to remain as king, and nor could the council allow it. I'm king. He'll basically say, "I'm king for now." But at some point, we have to get the Book of Eight Lands and a full council. Once the heirs to the people who were killed here come here, they will be instated in the council, and then that council will have to either reaffirm my position or proffer another candidate. So my kingship may be short-lived. He sort of laughs, but for now, I am the king. of the Bandu. I have delegated in large part I've delegated the entirety of the military efforts to Lord Is, who is the most capable among us. Um, but my greatest job right now is to sort of put Brest back and put the city of Brest back in order, um, and make sure that and see to the defenses of the city, um, and also capture. We've sent out the talent. My first order as king was to send the talons out to capture all Sargavans in the city and sequester them, either at the various jails that we have in the city, or post guards at their domiciles. Sort of house arrest until we can figure out who is with us and who is against us. My suspicion is that probably every Sargavan in the city is in some way complicit. At least we have to start from that point of view. And so we'll be conducting comprehensive inquiries into this regard, considering what has been taking place. And he basically says, we've we haven't confirmed it, but we're the council, such as it stands right now, believes you guys when you guys say, we think that the Sargavans poison you guys. You've provided us with your testimony before, and we have come to that point of view. That is the point of view of the council of the Bandu Hills. So that is in large part our justification for declaring war on Sargava about an hour ago. Is in
Okay.
large is a large part the evidence that you guys provided. So he does say that. About that time, Jinnis's guys come in and they don't have the book with them, and they're like, you see them talking to Jinnis, and Jinnis is like, and they're like, and Jinnis comes running over, and he's like, my liege, I sent some men down to obtain the Book of Eight Lands and bring it here, and they've told me that they've gone into the vaults, and the book is missing. That's trouble because it means a large part of the council is in danger. But that's like the history. It's the thing. I think. So the king is like King Gallo is like, look, get everybody you can on finding this book and get it and locate it. I don't care. Did you? And he looks to you guys in Glibglammers. Did you find a book?
No,
They did not find a book in Glibglammers. Send some people back there to investigate that area further. In fact, send
it's kind
several
of
people.
weird. Just let them know when you walk inside there, it's not really our dimension, kind of completely. So it's kind of weird in there.
Take some mages with you just in case. And Jinnis is like, you got it. In the meantime, so Jinnis runs over to this Kingsguard. And he's like, get some guys, go down here, and I want you to start looking for the, blah blah blah. Start looking for the book. It was in the king's vault, and had been.
Okay, so I will tell him that
Mhm.
in our conversations with, oh, what's her name? Pixis?
Pixis. Uh-oh.
Pixis, in our conversations with her,
Hmm.
she was basically, because she was slumming, took a job as a guard and
And they
noticed
they
and
moved her to the
noticed
king's
that
vault.
and noticed that right before the whole poisoning thing happened,
Hmm.
guards had been reassigned, so there was no one guarding the vault. So
And who would have the power to reassign those guards?
Glibglammer would have.
Glibglammer would have. You think she stole the book?
Well, if she did, she didn't leave it. She didn't keep it with her.
If so Duke Gallo or King Gallo looks thoughtful at this. He's like, if she somehow managed to steal the Book of Eight Lands and put it somewhere,
You need someone with some very powerful divination magic.
we do indeed. He calls Jinnis back over and it's like, Jinnis, we need to maybe get some. Do we have diviners? Oh yeah, the king's diviners. Yeah, well, go get them and find out where the hell that book is because we need it right away. Um, but it does kind of potentially explain why the king was vulnerable to mind
Yeah.
effect. If she took the book, Put it somewhere where it's
So she would have had to taken
magical
it
effect.
6 months ago, not just now when we heard that there was
Yeah.
no guards there. She would have taken it before, but
If that's when she started affecting him.
yeah.
She had some kind of magical place that she stayed at the battle that we did at Gallows, right?
Like
Maybe
a tent.
Oh, that big
no, it
tent,
was
yeah.
like it was a huge, yeah, like a huge magical thing. I think maybe that's
Yeah, it
where
was.
her stuff is. Did she have any other place that she stayed, or does anybody know where the place that she stayed in, where that would be? Was it something she did or something that?
Let me so there will be several people several of people available to talk to who would have been at that battle. As part of the king's forces, part of the negotiations, that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's probably guys from here that you could talk to if you want to ask questions. Janice is like, do you want me to dig somebody up?
Definitely,
Who
yeah.
was there? Okay.
Mhm.
Let me see. Okay. So yes. So eventually they bring a soldier, a dwarvish soldier, who wears the king's colors. This is Sergeant so and so. He was tasked with being one of the guards outside of Glibglammer's thing, and this is what it looked like. So it was definitely a magical tent of sorts. He's like, and so there's this dwarvish sergeant. He's like, how can I help? What can I do for you? What questions do you have?
Where did she come up with that tent, and how did she make it? Do you know? And do you know where it's at now?
So we arrived at the camp where we were camping before the battle. And Glibglammer had her wagon with some of her servants, some of the mages, and some of that. It was a large wagon, but certainly not sufficient in size to hold a tent of this size. Because this thing was big. It was probably 80 feet in diameter. I mean, it's a big, huge tent. Um, I don't know. I was assigned later, but when I got there, the tent was already there. It had been either constructed or materialized in some fashion. We were not allowed to go in. Me and other guys who were basically her guard, um, were not allowed to enter the tent. We were told that under no circumstances we were to enter the tent. We would accompany the Chamberlain, the Lady Chamberlain, when she came out, and we would escort her to wherever it is that she went, but and escort her back to her tent when she returned. But we were never allowed inside. I don't know. I did not see the tent constructed. I don't know if it was constructed in the traditional sense.
The people that worked with her, were they in her employ, or were they part of the king's entourage?
Well, they were the
Some
king's,
positions.
and some of the king's mages, but some she worked more so with others. They had a separate camp that was a little ways away from there. It was struck by commandos the evening before the battle. We were unsure what happened. Most of the mages were killed by commando. Some of Duke
We
Gallows'
have no
commando
idea what
raiders.
happened there.
Mm-mm.
And any
Yeah, that's
any
what.
stories,
He's like, I
implicating us.
never saw it. I was tasked, my sole task, and those of my colleagues were to ensure that the Lady Chamberlain was protected when she was outside of her tent. We were given to understand that she was safe whenever she was inside. She did not need our protection inside, and we were not allowed inside. But yeah, she came with those mages. They set up their own area. It was probably a quarter of a mile away. She did not want them to be close to her. Her tent was sort of off by itself, which is why, at least initially, that is why we thought that she was going to require an escort, because her tent was also about a quarter of a mile away from the main body of the soldiers and the king's generals.
Was what we looked at, Les, everything that where her house was? She was in a house, right? It was a,
Well, yeah, it was
no,
an apartment, a lot like sort of like it wasn't like Barrelborns, the Canarian Barrelborns, the place where you guys stayed. He has like a villa, but it was carved. His villa is carved into the stone of the mountain. Hers was like an apartment, part of it carved into stone of the mountain, but less ostentatious certainly than Barrelborn's place. This would be it was more of a administrative place. It would have been the apartment that was assigned to the Lord Chamberlain. It's very nice inside, but and certainly well apportioned, close to quite nearby the King's halls and various places, so that the Lord Chamberlain or Lady Chamberlain could be proxemic to those places where business was taking place. But generally speaking, it's considered to be uh, not so much luxurious as well apportioned and comfortable.
and that's where we were at, where we found her with the hand and the eye and all that.
Yeah, you guys went in there. It did not seem
Yeah.
like a normal play, like a normal apartment. When you were guys given down, I mean, basically in contact with these guys, the Lady Chamberlain's apartments are fairly standard kind of apartments given to civil administration. Now, she was the highest level of civil administration, so her apartment is likely to be larger, more comfortable, more servants, that kind of thing. Although they will tell you, you'll find out that she said that she did not need any servants. She had brought her own servants, although nobody can remember ever seeing those servants. So she didn't have the king never assigned her any a servants group. Although that was kind of like odd because normally the king, being the king's chamberlain would grant you a cadre of servants to attend to sort of domestic matters.
Is it possible we missed though? Like, I mean, was there something on this plane that where that house was that she might have been utilizing that we totally missed because we went into the other plane? I mean, is it
It's
possible there's something
it's
else in that house?
it's possible. I mean, you didn't see anything like that. So I don't know. I mean, you just went in her door and you were immediately in this very strange location. Obviously otherworldly in some way, maybe multidimensional. You're not sure.
Are there people who interacted with her who remember that's where she was at, or were there any people who were exposed to that? I guess is what I'm asking.
That
Into
in this tent,
yeah, anybody who worked with Glibglammer that was with the king who
she
knew.
she worked with a great many people, but the guy you're talking to who was at the Battle of Galifend, he will tell you he had strict orders that no one, not even the king's mages, were allowed to enter the Chamberlain's tent. And to his knowledge, no one did. Now he can't speak to whether or not she had, company over at her apartment, although um, he wasn't he wasn't here for that kind of stuff. It's his job. He's a soldier, not a civil servant. Now, if you talk to some of the civil, the guys who are in the quarrel right now, who work for the king, who work for the nobles, if you ask some of those guys, they'll tell you that the lady Glibglammer the Chamberlain worked with a great many people. The Chamberlain's job was quite comprehensive, especially they'll say after the king's family was killed, the king kind of withdrew a little bit. Well, actually, kind of a lot from his normal sort of kingly duties, which meant that Glibglammer was conducting you know, if basically the king said, Nina will handle it, right? And so Nina was handling a lot of things, but they can't recall her handling things or holding meetings or meeting with anybody in her apartments. It was always conference rooms, the great hall, the lesser halls, in public is where, not necessarily public, but like they can't recall a single instance where she brought people back to her apartments, and they just assumed that she was working very very hard, right? Many long hours, many responsibilities, and they just assumed that she wanted to keep her apartments sacrosanct, keep work away from where she rested. But they can't recall anybody ever going in there. If that answers your question.
Yeah.
We just need to get the
Okay.
word out. Anyone who worked with her, we're looking for stuff she might have hidden or stashed away somewhere. So any mages that are still alive that worked with her or anybody.
Okay. So in the end, Steppengard has abdicated the kingship in favor of Duke Gallo, at least for now. Gallo admits that at some point they will have to have a formal process. Um, Obviously, he's going to be the handpicked. He's the picked candidate of the previous king. However, the previous king's compromised, and when representatives of the people who were killed, Lord Rhaego, Lord Magadan, Lady Naaman, if Lady Dane, is continues to be, I mean, Lady Dane's alive, but she may designate a representative or successor to represent her while she recovers. If she recovers, it's touch and go. She had her throat slashed and lost a lot of blood. So those people, those representatives, will have to come up and either reaffirm the king's proposition, abdication in favor of me, in favor of of Gallo, or nominate and go through the process of finding a new king, depending on what we do. Um, he sort of laughs. He says, my becoming king due to the abdication of King Steppengard is flawed from the outset. The case could be made, and I imagine somebody will make it at some point, that Steppengard ceased to be king once he had stopped. Once Glibglammer, if we can determine, without, uh, if we can determine for sure that Glibglammer was exercising some sort of mental hold upon him, um, technically by our laws, he would have ceased to be king at that point. And the Bandu Hills would have been kingless. So if he ceases to be king, that means he can't abdicate in favor of a new king, which makes all of it fraught. But he's like, we'll try to figure that out when the time comes. And there's Eric.
Hello.
Finally, that little girl just would not
Hello.
go to bed, would she?
I just now got her to sleep.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Well, a fair amount has happened in your absence.
Oh my gosh.
You
Wait,
guys,
I got crowned king. I'm
not yet,
honored.
but you could pose yourself as a candidate.
They were going to make you king, but then it came out that you actually kicked a king in the head, and they're like, okay, we can't have a
Yeah, you
king
punched
head kicker
Just
you
in
punched
there.
like
So.
3 nobles. All right. Do you guys want to give them a quick update onto what's happened today?
We killed Glibglammer
Oh,
in her little freaky
And her little dog
extra
too.
planar apartment. Rescued some people that she had there that were kind of in various states of neglect.
I see.
Came back. The king gave up his crown. Tried to offer it to Iz. He didn't take it. Tried to offer it to Ashkaban. He didn't take it. So finally offered it to Gallo, and so Gallo's the king now.
Gallows king.
And
Yeah, it
they're
took a minute. It was
and
like they finally got around to it. They offered it to Iz first, and Iz declined. Instead, he accepted the position of field marshal of the Bandu armies. So he is now essentially the supreme commander of the forces of the Bandu Hills, and all of
oh
the
yeah, they've
available.
declared war on Sargava.
And they
Yeah.
declared war on Sargava. So right now, Iz isn't even in the room because he's like trying to get everything sorted out. He's got to coordinate and try to foment a defense, and try and gather all of the dwarvish military fighting force. And frankly, the last time that you guys talked to him, he did not seem confident that that fighting force was going to be sufficient to stop the Sargavan Five Corps from getting through the Elite Pass.
I see.
Um,
I'm so sorry that I
then,
missed so much.
so
Go on.
Iz turned it down. Then they offered it to Lord Dashgaban, and Dashgaban said, I don't want it either. He's sort of like many people felt like Dashkaban, he's a dwarf's dwarf, right? So, but he's never been a fan of King Steppengard. He
Mm,
always thought he was weak-willed and not a good
mm,
king. And I don't know, we could do any some psychological profiling here, but maybe he just thinks that the office of king is not for him. It's not suitable for
right.
him. So they offered it to after they offered it to Iz, and Iz turned it down in favor of being supreme commander of the army. They offered it to Dashkaban, and he flat out turned them down. In fact, he proposed instead that Steppengard be arrested for high treason,
Mm.
imprisoned, tried, and executed. And he said it pretty
Whoa.
much like that.
Mm,
That became a conversation, and eventually the other three living nobles
mm.
uh, swayed Dashkaban to be merciful, although he still thinks that there should be a trial. But
I
then
see.
finally they got around to they couldn't give it to Lady Timor because she's not a dwarf. And so while she is a noble in good stead and
Mm,
she is part of the council and a native of the Bandu Hills,
mm,
it was basically unspoken, but they said, look, it, we can't offer it to you. And so they passed
right.
her over. And then at that point, Duke Gallo was the only one left. And so, as he admits, he's like, it could be temporary. We still have to have a full council to vote on it and decide for sure. But for now, I am the interim king, the the king pro tem, as it were.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, Gallo seems like a good chap.
Yeah, he basically, and so Timor actually came over, spoke to you guys a little bit, and said, "Look, when all this is over, if you guys decide not to go back to Gate Pass, once the war is over, she's like, I have set aside land and farmsteads for each of you in my domain. Um, if you decide that Gate Pass is not for you, or for whatever reason you are unable to go back there when the war is over, you have a home here in the Bandu Hills as a reward for
That's
all your service."
tremendous. Tremendous. Hmm.
So in the
Hmm.
meantime, they've been asking. So Jinnis, one of the things that somebody brought up was that the Book of Eight Lands, which is essentially the history book of the nobles of the Bandu Hills, exercises is a magic item that exercises a level of protection over the king that disallows the king from being affected by mind affecting abilities or spells. So they're like, wait a second, if the king was being, well, maybe not controlled, but maybe influenced by Nina Glibglammer, wouldn't the book protect him? Well, they were like, okay, well, let's go get the book. So they went down to the king's vault, and the book is gone. They can't find it.
The book
Uh,
is
So one of the things that King Gallo is doing is like, we need to find that book. So get some diviners on it, try and find it. We have to find that book. But it's possible. And so Gordon brought up the fact that or I think it was maybe Mike brought up the fact that Pixis, the rogue that you guys talked to, said that when she was hiding in plain sight as a member of the King's Guard,
hmm.
she was posted to the vault and there
That's
was
right.
nobody there. Nobody would have been guarding the vault.
Oh my God.
And then
Okay.
she was put in sole control of it. So it's
It,
possible that Glibglammer got in there and took the book so that she could affect the king, or she worked with the Sargavans in some way. Because people are allowed to go. So that's another thing. People are allowed to go down there and read the book. Not necessarily your everyday schmo, but people with influence and things like that are allowed to go into the king's vault under to be accompanied, so that they may peruse the Book of Eight Lands. Nobles will often do it, if only to refamiliarize with their own lineages. The king often is probably too strong a word, but will occasionally go down there and to read about the lines of kings of the Bandu Hills and sort of his place among them. So it's not a vault in the sense like a bank vault. It's a vault in the sense of like more like a museum where the book resides,
um,
but it is not there.
I see. Would Ono have had time ever to go back and check on whatever happened to Lady Dane?
Yeah. So if you want, so you'll go to the place where she stays when she's in town. She's obviously not from here. She's not from Bresk. But they've got her in a large suite, and her not only some of the king's doctors, but some of her own physicians are tending to her.
Okay.
Um, when you come there, and I'm assuming some of you go, you go
Well,
to check on her.
actually, I mean, Ono does not want any kind of award, recognition, not even a handshake. It's fine. But he feels it's polite to go check on
He wants
somebody
to,
he maybe saved. I think
yeah.
it seemed rude to just walk away.
Well,
So
yeah, and Titus had a hand in that as well.
true. This is quite true. In fact, the whole team, a B team, saved Lady Danae, but and that is a fact.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, you get
So
there and you do get thanked. I mean, her personnel, her representatives come out, basically say, "Hey, we want to thank you for essentially saving her life, and please extend our thanks um to your friends as well." Um, her condition is grave. The
grave,
physicians basically have told us grave. She's in grave condition. She's not in
grave.
a grave. But her throat was slashed and she's lost a significant amount of blood. She is alive. She is unconscious right now,
Huh.
and has not. She's been unconscious for the past several hours. We are monitoring him constantly, her constantly,
Mm.
um, but we cannot say for certain that the physicians basically say if she survives the night, there's every chance that she will regain consciousness and subsequently in her subsequent faculties. But this evening will tell the tale.
Got it. Okay, I see. Well, I shall offer a humble prayer to Ishtar, goddess of the Temple of Untwist, the Monastery of Untwisting Iron, and wish her rap quick healing. Um,
Okay. We will extend those wishes to her physicians, and if she does regain consciousness, we will extend them directly to her on your behalf.
Very good, very good. I shall hu humbly withdraw from a household with obviously lots to do.
Yep. She's unconscious, and but before she lost consciousness, she basically and you'll learn this in the King's Hall. She basically gave Lady Timor the right to speak with her voice. And so Lady Timor's voice and is speaking for Lady Dane while she's unconscious. Um, King Gallo basically is like, look, Lady Dane is a fighter. He's like, I have no doubt in my mind that she will regain consciousness and she will be incredibly angry. And he's like, I feel for her servants when she regains consciousness because
Mhm.
they're going to be, it's going to be trouble. She's going to be angry, but um, he's fully, you get the fact that he's fully confident that she will return.
Hmm. Okay, good.
Other
Okay.
questions for the king, various guards, Jinnis, King Gallo himself. Like I said, Lord is basically going on and he's working on the military end. Do you guys have any other questions for these guys?
Right now, no, I, I don't anyway. I really appreciate the comprehensive and interesting recapitulation.
So you're welcome. So pretty soon, the guys who were sent to Lady Glibglammer's apartments return. And it looks like they do have a book with them, a large book. We think we found it. We found it. They come in. Um, but and they put it on the table, and King Gallo says, "I want that book guarded night and day, and I want it
Hmm.
returned back to the vault.
Okay,
I want 6 guys." Go ahead.
we want to verify that it's really the book.
Yeah, so they're going to look at it and take a look, but it does at least at first glance it does seem to be the book. Gallo's going to go over there. He's like, I've perused this book on several occasions when I've been in town, so I will look as well. But they tell a very strange story. When they went to Nina Glibglammer's, at least strange to your Uris, when they went to Nina Glibglammer's, they went in the inside, and the apartments were completely vacant.
Hmm.
To their eyes, it didn't look like anybody was living here. There was no clothing.
Hmm.
The bed was unrumpled.
It
There
didn't
was
look like
no
you were on a different plane.
no. They're like no. It was a standard civil servant's apartment.
I wonder if it was just like that because we went in there whenever she was alive. I wonder if when we killed her, as soon as we left, then that dimension or whatever it was went away.
Be a
It's
pocket
possible.
dimension.
Anyway, he basically describes it as he says, and he says he was struck by the fact that it was so empty.
Hmm.
There was no food or drinking evidence. It didn't look like any of the. So these apartments for these civil servants, they come with all the accoutrements, right? There's cups in
Mhm.
in the cupboard and
Uh-huh.
dishes on the sink and tables and chairs and bed clothing and things like that. He's like, it didn't look at it had ever been touched. In fact, the table, everything was dusty. It didn't look like anybody had been living there and for quite a while. The
Hmm.
book they found in one of the rear rooms. One of the rear rooms is like a little office. There's a desk, a table, that kind of stuff. It looked like it had been unused, except for on the little side table in that room was the book.
Hmm.
When we walked in, as soon as we walked through the front door, we were in some different dimension. Weird, weird crap.
What he's describing to you is nothing like what you guys saw. I
Hmm.
mean, you're like, you didn't see any like wall eyeballs or dead centipedes or anything like that. And they're like, we don't have any idea what you're talking. They basically it was like almost like the opposite of what you guys saw. Empty apartment, dust on the furniture, no evidence to suggest that anybody had been even living there.
So she
And
must have made
the
the
prince,
doorway an entrance to some other plane.
Demi-plane or some pocket dimension, something like that. But if that's the case, why leave the book in in the in her office?
Well, if she puts that plane there, that's the best place to hide it because no one could get to
No
that
one could
office.
get there. Yeah,
Because when you tried to walk in,
it's possible.
you went to the plane. You didn't go into the. So even if you could get in there and somehow overpower her, you still couldn't find the book
Right.
because it's not there, and you can't get to where it is.
And its effect would have been blocked too, wouldn't it? Because ostensibly it would be blocked by a dimension, by an extraplanar space.
Yeah,
It'd be like trying to detect something in a rope trick.
yeah.
That might explain it, but it does look like they got the book back. Gallo comes
Okay.
back over to you guys and basically says, "Yeah, I think that's it." He's like, I'm putting a significant guard around it, and no one's going to be allowed to look at it until such time as we have
Hmm.
ascertained whether or not it's safe or not."
How does this thing work? How does it tie into Gallo to make him protected? Just curious. Will tell
Uh,
me.
so let me find it.
Page 89 in the module tells you.
Yeah, thank you. Jesus. Uh,
I just really hope it's not page 89 because then
if it's page 9. All right.
I was gonna
So
say then Les is gonna have a talk with me.
the book of Eight Lands is essentially the history book, and it's a huge for dwarves. It's a huge book. It's probably like 30 inches by 40 inches. I mean, it's this enormous hidebound book with big clasps on it and stuff like that. Basically, there is if they'll get one of the guys like a local historian mage to come and talk to you about it. It basically says the book does a variety of things. First, the Book of Late Lands magically records the lineage of all the rulers of the Bandu Hills, and the book automatically records births, marriages, deaths, or any change in succession. So Duke Gallo, reasonably speaking, now that the book is here, it's possible that it may have recorded King Gallo, as Steppengard has abdicated in favor of King Gallo, who will have to be, that kind of stuff. It's named the Book of Eight Lands because one time there was 8 kingdoms in the Bandu Hills. Although essentially when Steppengard became king, which is about like 15 years ago, 18 years ago. He created his own, a ninth region, basically for himself and his family. In the past, the book served almost like as a checklist of almost who you would have to kill in order to move closer to the throne, because it had a list of all those relationships. So it inspired a fair amount in the past. It inspired a fair amount of civil conflict. Um, at some point in the past, and this is before Steppengard, the Council of Nine, which is of the nine regions, basically said, we are not going to use this book anymore to determine lines of succession, even though it still records them. Um, but we are going to decide for ourselves. And they have found over the time that what they decide gets entered into the book. It sort of rearranges itself to accommodate that. It still tracks who's next in line of succession and all these kind of things for all of the things, but it changes based on who's who's named to be king. Right now it's King Gallo, which means the book is probably saying something like King Gallo's son, firstborn eldest son is the next in line of succession, and it'll go through that family and that kind of stuff. It also grants magical defenses to those who rule each of the lands, and to their immediate families, and it protects them. And the way he puts it is without being swayed by charms or compulsions. So it not just protects the king, but it protects everybody from being negatively affected. That the book was not gone may have also allowed, now that you think about it, during the banquet, the poison affected them. She also affected several nobles with those blasts of insanity that she shot out. It's possible that the book not being there got rid of their protection as well. Because remember, Lord Magadon attacked Lady Timor. Lord Dashkaban attacked Lady Dane. Lady Naaman was killed by the king under these compulsions. So, it's possible the book, um, and they basically it's protected in the vault uh, historically, and any resident of the technically any resident of the Bandu Hills, human, dwarf, half human, may petition to view the book by saying, "I pray that my blood is worthy of Bandu." Is the formal request, and then they're typically allowed. Now, generally speaking, during the course of a year, the guy will tell you that maybe 3 or 4 people a month request to see the book. And almost all of them are either of noble blood, related to nobles of the related in some way to nobles of the nine lands, or servants of those people. Usually it's used to sort of like check on the histories and things like that. You don't usually get a bunch of like randos kind of come in to do this, because although the histories are interesting, there's no real reason for them to check these out other than academic interest, or if you are a noble who is directly affected by it. Make sense? But that's what the Book of Eight Lands does. The mage will tell you.
Thanks.
Interesting.
All right. Once after several hours, you guys are asked to approach so stepping at one point, Steppenguard's, well, the guys that you know as the King's Guard, now they're Duke Gallo's guards, but several members of the King's Guard, essentially after the formal abdication, they attach some manacles on King Steppengard and they lead him away.
Wow.
As he walks away, you can hear him crying. He's sobbing quietly as they lead him away.
That's too bad.
The king tells King Gallo tells them that he's to be treated with every courtesy. He's to be given every comfort, but he's to be kept secure. And Dashgaban sort of adds in, yes, very secure, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, he's led away, and eventually you guys are brought over, and they want to know they want you to brief them about what you've found at Nina Glibglammer's, and that you think that you've killed her, and that kind of stuff. That takes a while for you guys to sort of get all that out, but they're briefing. They ask, Dashkaman asked some good questions. Timur asked questions about, she's like, what did it look like? What affected this thing that Nina Glibglammer had? Dashkaman is, what were the condition of the dwarves? Send a runner to see what's wrong with these men. Because you remember he was affected by that madness. To the extent that he nearly killed Lady Dane and may yet have, if she doesn't last the night, he may be responsible for her death. So I imagine that weighs pretty heavily on him. But yeah, they ask good questions, and essentially it takes a while for you guys to talk about that. Eventually, after some hours of discussion, the king says, "We're going to be going on like this for a while. We have a lot to talk about. We have to leave the hall. I have to talk to Lord Is. I have to go pay a visit to Lady Dane. Suddenly I have several kingly responsibilities that I need to establish. So please
So are we
go
going
back to
out later then,
Barrowborn."
or what?
Yeah, yeah, I'll meet you guys for beers later. No, he's like, I may stop by Barrelborn's later, but you guys should go there, get some rest. You've done a yeoman's job. The kingdom of the Bandu is in the debt of the Gate Pass Militia. To get back to Barrelborns, you are welcomed. There is wine, there is food, and there is also your old friend is there. Fallon, who's there. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" That kind of stuff. So you'll remember that he sort of skedaddled when you guys were coming back to the
Oh
thing.
yeah.
So yeah, he's sort of skedaddled. Well, it turns out, and he'll tell you, he left Brask, and he met with some. He'd gotten a message about a week ago from Simeon in Sequin at the Magic
Lyceum.
School and at the Lyceum. And so he had a message. He was to meet this guy and get some more information. And he's like, "Hey, they've requested Simeon has got more information to me, and I've gotten some information. So things have changed in Sequin, potentially not for the better. Simeon has requested we come back there. Not necessarily. Simeon seems to be dealing with the changes there as best he can, but he's got some information. He wouldn't give it to a messenger. He wants to see us in person, and asks that we go back to Sequin as quickly as possible. So I'm back here to request that, after you get a rest for a day or two, but we should head back to Sequin no later than our next game time.
Hmm.
What's this game time you speak of?
But then he's basically like, yeah, unless you guys have some business that you need to clear up here, Simeon and the back at the Lyceum, they've asked that we come there as quickly as possible. He's got some information for us, um, and he's hoping that you guys can help him.
Okay.
I don't know. We're friends of the king now, so we might not. We'll see.
Who were the people that said that they were going to get some of the refugees out of Gate Pass?
That was Simeon and his guys, and they
Yeah.
did. They have been trying to get refugees out of there, and Simeon has been. They did get your mom out of there. You'll remember they did and brought her to. She's in Sequin now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simeon has been sending his agents there as best they can, but Gate Pass is really difficult to get in and out of. And the reason that it is because you have two corps of Sargovan soldiers, one posted up basically at the south end and the other at the north end fighting King Shaladel's elves in the thing. So you haven't heard any news there, and it may be that when you get back to Sequin, you can get a better idea of how how the war is being protracted, because it could be that there have been some changes. I mean, they probably have more news. But yeah, he's been trying. So yeah, one of the things that you left with was Simeon. Simeon said that he would do his best to try and get people out of Sequin as best he could. But it's not easy because teleporting doesn't work. And getting in and out of, it takes a special kind of person to get in and out of what is essentially captured city.
Right. But at this point, we know that our mother is in
Mhm.
Sequin.
Is in sequence, yeah.
So let's get back to Sequin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all for that.
Okay. All right, so we're very close to the end of our time. So we will wrap up next time we play. We will wrap up our doings in Bresk and the Bandu Hills, and we will begin traveling back to Sequin to find out what is happening there. And in the meantime, go ahead and level up.
Oh
Level
boy.
up. Oh,
Okay.
I will get the party booty like combined. Anything I know no one will want, I'll go ahead and put on the cell block. Anything that people might want, I'll ask who wants what. And then once I hear back from that, then I can sell that and then I can get everybody money.
So
So
certainly, if you guys have any weapons or armor that you're not using that you've collected that you would normally
yeah,
sell back, um,
we've got several of those. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they'd be interested. Now they may, I don't know that they have a ton of money, but certainly they'd be interested in any martial things that you have that you would be willing to sell or give to them would be welcome indeed.
Okay.
Because they've
Well,
got a hard Bandu suddenly has a hard war on its hand.
everywhere around here does. So everyone wants
Yep.
martial things around here.
Yep, that's the truth.
So yeah, I'll get that sometime before we play next.
You
That
still
sounds
thinking you're out next week,
great.
Mike?
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Les. It was great.
Those who are in Iron Fang, I'm definitely out next week. Uh,
Okay.
Amy's sister passed away suddenly through
Oh
a heart
no.
attack this week.
Oh, I'm sorry to
And
hear that.
so it just so happens they just made plans as of yesterday. And so the visitation is going to be Sunday e afternoon, I guess, into evening, and we're still going to have family at our house. So I will definitely be out next week.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
rough
it makes
thing to
sense.
happen Christmas. Jeez.
That
Oh
is
yeah,
rough.
No
yeah,
Sorry,
signs
man.
of it. It was a complete surprise too.
yeah. It was complete support. Yeah. I mean, she's a bit overweight, but a lot of us are. But yeah, they basically she lives by herself, and she kind of left word with work like a long, long time ago. Basically, say, hey, I live by myself. I'll never not come into work. So if I don't come into work, send someone to check on me. That's kind of what happened.
No kidding.
They did a
Okay.
wellness check, and
Jeez, that's hard.
so
I'm sorry, man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please express our condolences to Amy. That's
we'll do. But yeah,
Definitely.
we'll be back on normal schedule for next month, though.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Good luck.
All right. Well,
I'll have a
thank you
great
guys.
holiday.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a
Yep.
great
Thanks. Yep.
Christmas and
Merry Christmas.
have a great holidays. Happy Hanukkah to you, Andrew.
Yep.
Happy
And
Hanukkah.
have a great holiday season. We'll talk soon.
All
All
right.
right.
Good night.
All right,
See you guys.
guys.
Later,
Take
dudes.
care.
Bye.